Today we are here. We're ready to rock. Mariners have already made a trade. Paul Domingo Anderson with you, joined by Michael Herrera today. Mike, how we doing?
I mean, as far as a Dodger fan goes, the Dodger fan's doing great, Maul. I had to sneak it in there somehow. I mean, come on. No, it's been a surprisingly good deadline. We had a very electric start to the day. And it's kind of slowed down. I feel like we got that flurry of four moves at once, which kind of felt weird. And I'm still like looking at my notes that I have for a lot of these trades and don't know where to go. Don't know how I feel about them yet,
Yeah.
but um, it's been good, and I was texting you last night. I was scared that the Scooble deal was going to kind of mess with how electric today would be. It hasn't yet so far, and I hope we get some more blockbuster moves along the way, based off the rumors we're seeing. But it's been good. As a baseball fan, wanting to see Christmas in July, it's happening, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, look, right? There's just so much going on. The way the standings sort of shaked out, it was like there's a lot of teams just sort of in the mix, and it's causing for trades all happening really late here and being kind of just funky. I mean, I don't know where you want to start, but I guess Jose Soriano is a place we could start, and
I think let's start with today's moves, and then we can, as the trade deadline goes on today, and as we like maybe find some slow bits, we can go back for the last couple of days. I'm very glad to. Um, sorry, I'm just got a text from someone that really caught me off guard.
we're chill.
Let's go to
Oh,
Toronto.
Robbie
No,
Ray, hold up!
where?
Breaking news already. San Diego Padres finalizing a trade to acquire
Whoa!
Robbie Ray in Division NL West. Passing bomb, baby. Passing bomb. Let's
Wow!
see. And Liam
Oh
Hicks to the
wow!
Rays.
What?
Back to back passing bombs. All right, good start. Here we go.
Whoa! Stowers is such an Astro.
Stowers. Don't say that. Don't say that.
They said that
Don't say that.
the Marlins came out and said that they're listening on Hicks and Stowers, and that the Astros have been aggressively trying. Whoa!
Crazy breaking news here. We will wait to see what the returns are for these trades, but the Marlins trading Hicks is that's a big deal.
Yeah, no, I mean, this kind of signals that. I mean, it's tough because for the Marlins team that everyone kind of banded together with these guys. I feel like with the White Sox kind of too, you love to see that story. Seeing obviously one as a culture city, Miami just awesome. But seeing the baseball culture back in Miami, I mean, there's a reason why the WBC is hosted there, um, every final at least. And Liam Hicks had a sneaky, like amazing season no one's talking about. I remember when the NL All Star catching vote was coming out, and everyone's like Drake Baldwin, Drake Baldwin, Drake Baldwin, and then no one mentioned Hunter Goodman or Liam Hicks, and I was just kind of befuddled by that because Hicks looks amazing. I mean, look at this reference page, dude. He's been amazing. And for a race team that so desperately needed help offensively, they didn't get it in Arias, which we'll get to that trade in a little bit. But for them to kind of get a catcher because Flowelling in their system, who again is the futures game MVP, he's still a prospect, still on his way. And so until then, until he comes up, you have a guy who you can plug into catching. If you want to not resign Diaz, you can put Hicks at first and Diaz at Ronda, or vice versa. I like it. I honestly like it. It extends their lineup, but for the Marlins, it signals some some uh some warning signs. They said everyone but Perez and Otto and Alcantara are off the table. I don't know if an Edwards move is in the works. I already said Stowers to the Astros kind of feels inevitable now. I don't know. Yanks kind of really want Edwards, but we'll see where they go. But to start us off in this live stream, Mahal, two pretty good moves.
Yeah, and I mean for the Rays, like this is a team that loves to acquire guys that are going to be young, going to be controllable, and I mean that's what Hicks is. This is a guy that's controlled through 2030, free agent after that 2030 season. It's a catcher that is going to immediately impact this team. It's been a 119 WRC plus this year, a 124 OPS plus, as you can see right here. I mean, it's almost an 800 OPS behind the plate. So you look at the American League. teams are all making moves. There's been a lot of rumors, a lot of buzz, a lot of smoke around the Red Sox and Orioles and an Adley Rutschman deal. And I mean, division rival making a deal here, getting their catcher, and it's a young one that's going to impact them for multiple years to come. You talked briefly about the Marlins and what they potentially might be able to do here, and Otto Lopez has been a name that's been discussed actually quite a bit. Um, it is going to cost a huge package to get a lot of those guys on the Marlins, including Otto Lopez. But this signals to me that, I mean, they
They're willing
legit
to
are
listen.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're open to anybody and anything, and I think that that's the interesting thing here, even more so than just the Rays getting Hicks.
He's such a Ray. Dude, I'm on a Savant page right now. His squared up percentage, whiff percentage, and K percentage are all in the 98th percentile.
Ridiculous. I mean,
He
that
not the
Rays
best
lineup.
fielder though, but yeah, if you want to start digging that lineup, you have a Ronda Diaz, Caminero, Hicks now. Ryan Vilade or Velade, who if anyone out there doesn't know who this guy is, Tigers right fielder, just been a bad couple stretches for the Tigers past month. But Ryan Vilade, he's been sneaky awesome. I remember he pimped a home run off of Eric Lauer against the Dodgers, and I was like, hold on, is this guy the truth?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it is Eric Lauer, but no, the Rays. I mean, they need to make moves, and we'll obviously, if we need to get into it, we can get into the Scoop thing a lot later. But I mean, it to me, it's kind of yeah, Padres, Robbie Ray official. Um, to me, it feels like oh my gosh, I had the perfect comparison. Yes, okay. It feels like the Kyle Tucker sweepstakes for the Mets a little bit, the Juan Soto sweepstakes for the Yankees. Okay, what's more valuable, one Tarek Skubal or Freddie Peralta and a Liam Hicks? What's more valuable, Juan Soto or a Cody Bellinger, a Max Fried, and a Paul Goldschmidt? Like I think that's the kind of the move we're going to be seeing here from the Rays. Which to me, I don't think they're done. If they get one more maybe arm, maybe some another depth piece, I would love that for them. But a good start to the deadline for the Rays. Yeah, man. I mean that I no word on on the return yet, which is interesting to me. I'm trying to find anything on the return, and I'm not
Yeah, I
seeing
got
a whole
nothing.
lot. Braden Taylor is one of the three prospects, so it's three. Will Salmon.
Okay.
Um, Braden Taylor is one of the three prospects headed to Miami in that deal. And then no news on the return yet for Robbie Ray. Let's go to the Robbie Ray deal. That to me is interesting for a lot of reasons. I think the first one, as far as the rest of the deadline goes, um, people have said that the kind of the prize starting pitcher until the end of the deadline as of right now is Casey Mize because he's been exceptional. The breakout finally happened. Obviously, he has dealt with some injuries this year, but he's been great. He's my fantasy team merchant. Shout out, even though my team's going to crap. Shout out Casey Mize for what he's done for my fantasy team. Um, you beat me this week by 4 points, and that really pissed me off. That's a topic for another day.
We're clutch.
Um,
We're clutch.
you're clutch. You're clutch.
I'm clutch.
But it said that Casey Mize is the most valued starting pitcher on the market. I think it's available as of right now, and that the D-backs, the Phillies, and the Padres are three of the more, and the Braves were the more teams involved. So to me, that signals a demise deal could be coming soon because I think maybe the Padres tried something for Mize and they said no, and then to get Robbie Ray, who kind of feels like somewhat of a perfect Padre, I think, with kind of just the vibe. I mean, you just look if you like want to go to his baseball savant page or any page, look at his like picture, like his headshot. He just kind of looks like someone who would fit in a Padres clubhouse. Like him and Craig Salmon just yucking ball. Absolutely. But he's had a great year, dude. And he in his past 7 games, a 1.26 ERA across 43 innings. He's been phenomenal. I loved him for the Rays. They don't get him. He goes to the Padres, and Padres are in such a weird spot. The whole Morahone Miller, or no, Morahone Warren saga yesterday, with like
Yeah.
reports being coming out like that never even was
The
in
boob.
place. So weird. But like, and also people were like crapping on the Yankees for that deal. And I was like, I don't know why you would kind of do that. Morahone, as great as he is a rental, and Warren's a starter till 2031.
Yeah,
So
I don't think you can do that deal unless you're literally the best team in baseball, and the Yankees aren't. I know they have a plethora of starting pitching, but you still gotta be smart with your value and trading a starting pitcher with control, like you said, for that long for a rental reliever, even as good as Morihone is, like, does not make sense. Does not make sense. It's the equivalent kind of the Mariners trading an Emerson Hancock for Adrian Morejon, and that's just something that's a non-starter for me, right? Like that could be a starter in a Mason Miller trade for me, and with a lot more. But there's no way I'm trading a controllable starting pitcher or a rental reliever. And I
Yeah,
mean,
and
it sounds like that deal might not have ever even been on the table. We don't really know, uh, because it was boob. It was boob. But
it was Boop.
but if it was on the table, the Padres would be stupid not to take that, and the Yankees would be stupid to offer that.
Yeah, that's will be interesting. There was a lot of quotes that the Padres were kind of asking around about Warren and Weathers, as far as the back end depth of their pitching staff goes. And then we can get into the rest of the Yankees things in a little bit. But I mean, everyone expected the Yankees to go out and try something for Miller, so I don't. It doesn't surprise me that they wanted a guy like Morhone, but yeah, just a weird saga. Um, what the Padres do the rest of the way, I don't know. Like to me, I mean, it's kind of tough to where like, and I'm not gonna try to ever compare these players because they're nowhere near on the same wavelength. But like Tarek Skubal and Adrian Morejon, they're both rentals. The Tigers did the smart thing in getting as much value as they could have from him, in a trade. And like, if you're the Padres, and even if there's a small chance you don't compete this year, why not get something back for Adrian Morejon, who is having another incredible
Yeah.
season?
Well, and I think too, like on that is like it's interesting for me them getting Robbie Ray, who is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, a rental,
He
right?
is a rental. Yeah, he's
So
a rental.
that's a move that's signaling we're gonna buy or we're gonna try and extend a Robbie Ray that is now. I mean, how old is Robbie
34,
Ray?
35. Yeah, he's getting up there.
Right. So it it signals to me that they might not be as interested in moving those relievers and slash or they're not getting the deals that they would want to get for those relievers in order to move them, which would make sense. I mean, as good as Morejon is, as good as Jeremiah Estrada is, right? Like you're not going to be giving massive deals for those guys. Um, and for the Padres to trade them, you would need to get a significant piece. And it just, I don't think that the Padres are necessarily going to get that piece that pushes them to make that trade.
Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of the reasons why, and again, I know I'm bringing back the Skubal trade, but a lot of people like the idea of a big league star coming back in that deal was the fact that you could arguably still compete the rest of the season to where like it's kind of the same for Mason Miller. Like if you're getting rid of arguably the best player on your roster right now, based off of the performance this year, um, like you want to get something back to compete, like
Yeah.
a valuable enough package to where, like again, like you mentioned, I don't think the Padres have gone that yet, but will be interesting. Again, no word on the returns yet, besides Braden Taylor being a part of the Marlins deal. Let me check out Braden Taylor. I feel like I know his name um solely because of the show.
Gotta love the
And I will
show.
be honest about like, gotta love the show, except for this year. Sorry, it's like it's been terrible.
Dude, I can't play it.
Um,
It's a joke.
it's been bad this year. Braden Taylor has some really good stats actually. He's been double A the past 2.5 years, give or take. Had a really struggled season last year, but has kind of adjusted this year. 897 OPS. So this is a guy shortstop. So does that mean Otto Lopez is gone? No, I'm kidding. No, I mean this is a guy who like feels like a third baseman, and that I think for the Marlins when they were hot, that was kind of what I was dreaming up for them as like, yes, you have Otto Lopez, yes, you have Xavier Edwards, yes, Hicks can kind of move in between catching and first base for you guys. But like I felt like they needed another corner infielder, so to get someone like a Braden Taylor who can potentially slot over to third base, I like that. And he's 24, so he's closer to the big leagues than not. Like I could see the Marlins being like, "Hey, we're putting you to AAA immediately." But it's interesting, Peter Bendix is a guy who has smartly built this roster. I kind of will always love the Marlins just because their manager is okay. Sorry, I've had so many people from broadcast. Shout out Chapman real quick. But text me about scheduling and waitlist right now, and it's starting me off by death.
Scheduling what?
Because they've gone off a waitlist for classes, so they're like, "Oh, what should I take?"
I see.
So that's why I was scheduling what? Paul's angry.
Man,
Um,
I'm confused. Scheduling my trades?
Scheduling Mason Miller to the Mariners.
Oh, I mean, there is an update with it if you want it.
There's an update. What's the update?
Mariners have checked in with Mason Miller on a trade with the Padres for Mason Miller. Padres asked for Kate Anderson. Not gonna happen.
What? Where'd you see?
Not
Who said
gonna
that?
happen. Adam Jude, one of the beat reporters for the Seattle Mariners on the Seattle
Wow.
Times. So that's not gonna happen. Obviously, it doesn't seem like they're gonna trade him. And I would also like to say the Padres are out of their mind with that. Out of your mind with that. You can have George Kirby. You have George Kirby and a couple other pieces, but Kate Anderson's off limits, to be honest. And even for a reliever as good as Mason Miller is, one of the better of all time. Like you just you can't.
A couple updates. First of all, looks like the DeGrom hunt might be done just because he told the Rangers he would like to remain with the team after being approached about waiving his no trade clause. They went up to him basically and said, for Ken Rosenthal, hey, what would you, and he said he would prefer to stay. So we'll see if a trade happens, if he blocks it. The package for is Braden Taylor, the 16th ranked Tampa Bay Ray prospect. Jacob Kisting, the Tampa Bay Rays 26th ranked prospect, and shortstop prospect Adrian Santana, the 27th ranked prospect.
That's pipeline rankings.
This should be pipeline rankings right here. I'm gonna share my screen. This is what I have going on. So this is shout out MLB Transactions Daily.
Fangraphs has Braden Taylor as the 6th ranked prospect in the Rays system. So that is interesting. I would assume he's had a good season. Go look at some numbers quickly.
He's had a great season. So yeah, that's the package for Hicks. No, we're on the package for Robbie Ray yet. Kind of want to see if we get something here. No. Yeah, also another weird trade that we can get into right before the stream. Josh Smith to the Jays. Like, okay. Like cool.
Jays trades are weird, man.
Jays are weird. We'll get back into it when we get back into it. We got sidelined by the two bigger deals.
We were gonna get into that off the bat just because it's been so funky. I mean, where do we start with that? I guess Jose Soriano's where we start with that.
I think you have to.
Giving up Arjun Namala. That's what it is, yeah?
He's a dog. Dude,
he's a dog. That's a top 30 prospect in all of baseball. Like, I mean, that's a legit guy who, I mean, according to Baseball America, is the best prospect traded so far at the deadline. Better than your Dodgers boys with their inflated helium on MLB pipeline.
Zaire Hope is he looks like the truth, but Arjun Namala is a dog.
He's really good. And as an Angels hater, I must say, I don't love it. And as a Blue Jays hater, I gotta say, what the fuck are you doing?
I think it's a weird spot if you're a Blue Jay fan because you so desperately want to compete after what happened last year, but you kind of know you're not going to unless a miraculous thing happens. But I don't think we see two miracle runs from two teams in the same division, let alone the same league. But I feel like we would feel different if this trade happened to like in the off season and the Jays are trying to get back into contention. We feel very differently just because the Jays have struggled. But when you look at the numbers, he kind of feels like a perfect Jay in the sense of their infield. Listen, I know Vladdy's had his struggles all up and down the field, whether you want to talk about offensively, defensively, not hitting a home run in Rogers Center, and we have less than 2 months until the season ends, which is crazy.
Ridiculous.
But you look at some of the numbers on Savant. His ground ball rate is 90%, and that's with one of the best
Los Angeles Dodgers. Got breaking news. Los Angeles Dodgers acquiring left-handed pitcher Kris Bubic from the Kansas City Royals.
What?
Dodgers fan, what do you got for us?
Wait. Who has that?
Jeff the Passan.
Whoa.
Very interesting. Is Bubic still a starter?
He's still a starter. He's based on the 60-day IL on the first, though.
What?
He's a rental who's made 9 starts. Is this Danny Duffy 2.0?
This is a weird one.
I remember when the
This is
Dodgers acquired Danny Duffy in 21, and nothing happened, and it pissed me off because I was like, Danny Duffy should have been the truth.
yeah.
Um,
Wow, he was really good last year. 20 games started
where's
last year at 2.55 ERA.
no, he was a dog last year. Hold on. I need to gather my thoughts real quick.
Year prior, he was a reliever, 27 games, 30 and a third innings. He's at a 2.67 ERA as a reliever. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Chris Bubich to the Dodgers. Um, to me, honestly, first thought off my mind right now. Genuinely, where I went to this, I'm very concerned Shohei's not pitching the rest of the year.
I mean, do you expect him
I do
to
in some
pitch the rest of the
capacity.
year?
I expect him to be back in September. Everyone was kind of in a wait and see. I was really concerned when we did our trade on episode on the Let's Talk Baseball pod that Glass will be done, but the Glass has progressed awesomely since then. Snail probably is back this weekend, which like that's another ripple effect.
Yeah.
Um, I'm interested to see the package because it's a rental for a guy again who wasn't all-star last year, the career year, struggled this year, and is injured. Um, I'm a little surprised, I will be honest, especially because they had talked about. Oh, okay. Well, this is an official update. Not DeGrom didn't just say he wanted to stay. He blocked the trade to the Braves.
Wow.
It looks like it. It said Jacob DeGrom, Perkins Rosenthal, Jacob DeGrom invoked his no trade clause to block a trade from the Rangers. The Braves had to get on him. So no
Wow.
news if it was from the Braves. I have to imagine it was. But he blocked
That's
it.
crazy. He really must like Texas, huh?
He really likes Texas.
Wants to remain
Wow.
with teams.
Still no news on the Robbie Ray package, which I know we have to. I'm gonna come back to Chris Bubich in a second. I like this guy in his peripherals. Like he looked awesome. I was very
Yeah.
upset at him when he gave up the 3 run. I was very happy with him actually because he gave up the
Mhm.
home run to Alonso in the All Star game. And if there's one thing you need to know about me, I love the All Star game with like my heart and soul.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like to me, genuinely, if Andrew Friedman came out today and said Shohei Ohtani's not pitching the rest of the year, I wouldn't be surprised because of this move. Also
Yeah.
because they had made a commitment. Friedman like came out yesterday in the press conference before the game, saying like, "We don't see Lauer getting moved. We see him in a bullpen spot for us." Obviously, that could just be a quote to save face, quote for leverage. As Andrew Friedman, is a mastermind. Side note: before we get to sorry, I'm still kind of like amazed at the fact that we just made this trade. Whoever runs the Dodgers social team genuinely needs to be given a raise.
All right,
they
Dodgers
posted this.
Glaze. What are we doing?
They posted this after the School Bowl trade. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I gotta say. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like to me, like my first question is Sheehan in this deal? Which it would be kind of an overpay for a rental that's been injured, but
Yeah.
Sheehan's been struggling, and there's been a lot of questions around him. A lot of people were expecting him to be in the School Bowl trade, and he wasn't. Um, I don't know. Yeah, no news in the package, and that's very, 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 very interesting to me because I also don't know where he's. Yeah, Fabian Ardaya, one of our best beat reporters, also confirms it. I just don't know where he goes, and if you're, I don't know if this is just okay. Let's get some depth. Let's get a guy who can, give us twirl a couple innings in the pen. I don't know, and it's this is the first move in a while where I just don't know how to feel for the Dodgers. Even like just like last year, we had a terrible deadline. Still won the World Series. Shout out. But like we
Mhm.
had a terrible deadline. We got to be running Brock Stewart and Alex Cole, and I was like, that's our moves. When everyone else in the NL brought in Yohan Duran and
Right.
Mason Miller, to where it's interesting. I want to hear the timeline on him a little bit more. I want to hear a Shohei update. I want to hear a Glass now update because from my point standing, obviously being a Dodgers fan, is that Snell is coming back this week. That the
Yeah.
rotation as of right now would have been a mix of Yamamoto, Roki, Sheehan, Robleski, Skubal, Snell. Like Lauer was game with the pen. Like that was the combination right now. And now this throws not a wrench into that. Not a wrench is not the right word. It's an interesting thing because I have no idea what's the fallout of this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there was a lot of quotes saying that the Dodgers weren't going to be. It was interesting because Andrew Friedman also in that press conference yesterday said that we're still having a number of conversations with a number of different fronts. They even mentioned to be interested in Adley Rutschman at some point, which is crazy enough that was
That'd be wild.
a thing. Yeah, he's on the 60-day IL with shoulder tightness, which is interesting. I still no news on the return. So I'll try to keep up to date when I can. So I don't know where to go as far as there's going to be other news that makes me a little bit more nervous as a Dodger fan. But there was also moves, that they weren't going to be adding to the big league roster anymore. That they were going to kind of improve on the margins and sell. Like Alex Call, I just mentioned him. I fully expect him to be gone in the next few hours, just because they mentioned that they are trying to shop him. That the Phillies and the Rangers have checked in on him. Even Eric Lauer comes to ask about Eric Lauer. Like my sneaky Eric Lauer team, just to add more pitching depth, like the White Sox. If you guys know, everyone knows who Eric Lauer is. Mahal, please go check his numbers for the Dodgers. He's been sneaky insane for no reason, and it just adds to the Dodgers doing what they do.
Lauer. I mean, the Dodgers feel like they have guys like this just every year at this
Every
point.
year.
It's really, really annoying. Wow. 2.96 ERA in 51 2/3 innings. Over only 8 starts, 9 appearances. Giving up like a home run per appearance. Yeah, I mean, he's been solid. The FIP is absolutely atrocious.
Friedman needs to get arrested.
How is his FIP over 5 and his WHIP is under 1?
Dude, because he only walks people and doesn't give up hits.
Oh, he has no strikeouts too.
5
strikeouts per 9. That's insane.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I don't think Bubic pitches for us this year.
He what?
I don't think Chris Bubic pitches for us this year.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Oh, we got the return.
Yeah, that's why I said
the
that.
Ray.
For Robbie Ray.
Yes.
Okay, I have it.
Miguel Mendez and Joniel Hernandez. Is the
Padres'
expected
fourth-ranked
return
prospect, and the Padres' 4th and 9th-ranked prospect going to
very interesting.
The Giants. I mean, you expected, you expected something a little bit more just because it isn't the in-division hacks, but that is, excuse me, that's a little interesting. I could be tripping now.
Yeah, Mendez is an interesting guy. Pipeline has him with a 60 grade fastball, 60 grade slider, 45 grade changeup, 45 grade control, 50 grade overall. He was signed in 2021 out of the DR when he was 18, and he's now in his 3rd season of A-ball. Is that right? Started the season at high A. He pitched 2.5 seasons at single A, and is now up at double A. It looks like, where he has been decent ERA, just under 5 and 34 2/3 innings. And again, that's the 4th ranked prospect from Pipeline. Hernandez is the lottery ticket here. 927 OPS in the Dominican Complex League. Signed, I think, just last year. It looks like he is 18, I believe. Yeah, signed in 2026. Very interesting. Leading tool is his run. He's a fast guy, bat speed. Yeah, it's a lottery ticket for the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants just need bodies in their system. They do. Like, and that's not. I mean, that's. I mean, yeah. I mean, again, as I know the Giants a little bit more, just because again, being their biggest rival, and I will say that because the Dodgers Giants rival was just historic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, when for the Giants team that so desperately tried to find their identity, so desperately tried to find the guys that they could get, and they finally did, and it didn't work out, and they needed to trade some guys to try to find something new, try to shake things up, and they're doing that in the best way possible to get a little bit more of a future for them because also their farm system wasn't looking too great. Like Eldred came up, and that's kind of their farm system. If I'm being honest, um, I mean, they also kind of got screwed by prospects not working out. Like everyone expected Joey Bart to be the next Buster Posey. He
Yeah.
was nowhere near that.
I
So
mean,
you know, for the
Marco
Giants, good for
Luciano
them.
too.
God, dude. Dude, I can't wait in 10 years when Giants finally come out and be like, yeah, we were cheating in 2021 because Mike Yastrzemski had like a 900 OPS that season for no reason.
So weird. It was such a random year. But that's what the Giants be doing. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like that happens like at least once or twice a decade.
I don't
Like
know,
for all
man.
we know, next year they're gonna pop up and win 110 games, and they'll be like, "Where the hell did this come from?"
Like no one wants the money on of the guy's contract this year.
Yeah,
Lowest ERAs, by the way, in MLB since June 1st. One, Jacob Mizrachi, 1.61.
of
Number two
course.
with a 1.65, Robbie Ray.
Wow.
So for the Padres who
Yeah.
desperately needed a starter, they got their guy, and like they're kind of back. It's gonna be really interesting. The NL like bubble teams to me are so interesting to me what they're gonna do because the Padres right now, I feel like the wild card are a game out behind the Phillies and the Diamondbacks with the same record. The
Mhm.
Diamondbacks, we'll get into the Phillies moves in a second because I have maybe a hot take. But the Diamondbacks, I don't know what they're gonna do. The Marlins look to kind of be selling. I think the Pirates are done being a bubble team. I think we have our 5 teams that are in the play for the wild card, and that's Cubs, Diamondbacks, Phillies, Padres, Marlins. Like I don't expect the Pirates or the Cardinals or the Nats to make a run. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the right thinking there. Uh, the standings are interesting, man. Like it's just so tight between so many teams.
So
Uh, and with the stuff that's available, like teams are gonna, I feel like, start to get rid of a couple pieces here in what do we got? 3.5 hours now to the deadline. Like it's gonna be really interesting to see what some of these teams do. I mean, even like the Blue Jays, right? Like, does Jeff Hoffman get traded, or are
he
they
has
looking to the
zero
future?
value.
Like,
They're looking for an he has some value. He's been actually really solid as of his
he's
last
been solid.
30 games. Um, yeah, I mean I think a lot of these bubble teams or teams that are disappointed are building for next year. And I think that's what the Blue Jays did with the Jose Soriano move,
Yeah,
which we can get back into to
absolutely.
kind of wrap things up. But by the way, the return for Chris Bubich came out. You remember in spring training we did our 36-hour kind of turnaround trip, and we were like,
Yeah.
"Who's this guy
Yep.
pitching for the Dodgers?" That's who they traded. Carlos Duran.
So nobody.
So nobody.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Injured Chris Bubich, like, yeah,
I mean, he's not going to
sounds
be
fair.
injured. Chris Bubich coming off of an All-Star season that hasn't been as great for him when he's healthy. He's not going to net you a lot, but like
Yeah.
that's
I
kind of
don't know.
crazy.
Uh, I think what the Blue Jays are doing is like really interesting. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I think getting to it even a little bit more, like they're using the deadline almost as an off season. Like they're using it as a window to improve their team in the future, which I think is really interesting, and I think is something that's going to start to become sort of a trend and like a common thing that happens here at the deadline. And even like the Mariners, right? Like, yes, Ward is a rental, but they use the deadline already to get ready for next season and clear up the rotation for next season and get ready to be able to call up the one and only Kate Anderson to the big leagues, right? So it's
After
really
they sign
interesting.
Tarek Skubal, because that's going to happen.
No, but yes, but no. Just wait till we once we trade for Luke Weaver, right? Like that's a building for 2027 type of move, as well as trying to win here in 2026. And with the Rangers starting to sell off some pieces, it seems like, and well, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to trade Jacob DeGrom, right? Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden, this division just feels even more open than it already was, and it's like, go get better, go continue pushing, and we haven't even seen many of these bullpen arms get moved yet, and we're two and a
Yeah.
half hours out. Like, it feels like it's only a matter of time for Luke Weaver to go off the board, one of these Padres guys to potentially go off the board. There's so many arms out there, Clay Holmes, right? Like, there's arms out there to go and get. It's only a matter of time for it to just start to be a flurry, it feels like.
It's gonna be interesting. I think the last hour is gonna be an insane kind of beat to the deadline. I think we're gonna get like last year was electric. Last year was crazy. Just because we also got the most bizarre moves of all time. Like no one expected
Yeah.
Carlos Correa to be back to the Astros, and then he was. No one expected Fox Sports to incorrectly say Ryan was going to the Sox, and have Trevor Plouffe almost lose his job because of that. Like that was a whole saga to where this can maybe not as electric as far as the moves or the I not as electric as far as the amount of moves being made, but I think in the impact and the kind of wild wild nature to some of these trades is going to be interesting. Yeah, I don't know where to go on Chris Bubich. Be honest, I'm a little like lost. I don't know if this is. I don't know. If he pitches for us this year, cool. If he doesn't, that's all right. I'm fine giving up Carlos Duran. That's
It feels like it's a move where it's like he can impact our bullpen potentially in the postseason, and if he does, like, that's how we're gonna go push again for another World Series. It's like part of the reason, part of the way. Um,
yeah. There was
and
a
ultimately, like, it feels like a pretty insignificant move.
yeah. It's not.
Um,
I mean, after you get to the Super Bowl, it's you know. But something interesting here for the bullpen. In 2024, before putting up his 2.55 ERA All Star season, he had a 12 strikeout per nine as a reliever. The walks have gone way up in 2026. But again, if you're the Dodgers and you fixed Eric Lauer, there's a chance you can fix Chris Bubich, who again the select numbers don't look great this year. The only one that's good is his extension at 81 percentile. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird improving on the Martins move, which is what I expected the Dodgers to do. Like
yeah,
people had Neto linked to the Dodgers, and there's some leverage plays with reports, but some also just kind of crazy rumors out there that Neto and Ressman were getting rumored for the Dodgers, and I'm like, those make no sense. To where this is kind of the more of the moves I expected from them after the Scuba move, and they're making smart moves, and I think a big part of this is this 40-man crunch that's going to come up at the end of October, at the end of the season. We have so many guys that are almost ready for the big leagues, if not ready already. I mean, James Hibbs the third looks like a DH, kind of first base kind of guy. He's been exceptional in AAA, and he's not even a top 50 prospect in baseball.
yeah,
Jose De Paula is the number 4 prospect in baseball. He's still in AA, but there's teams that could take a chance on him in the Rule 5 draft. I think the Dodgers are doing the smart thing here in trying to figure out where they can find ways to open up 40-man spots for these prospects, especially with the big L word coming out, obviously, in the rest of the way, which I think kind of goes to your sentiment there of a lot of teams are using the deadline as a mini offseason. I think
yeah,
that plays. I think the fallout of the Scooble trade has played a part of that. Everyone's like, okay, well, we know it's coming.
absolutely.
Let's get our offseason done now. Where and sellers are gonna love that. Like I know it hasn't been the craziest return for some of the guys like Joe Adell maybe for the Guardians, which that was a crazy move. But you're looking at it and it's like you could for again the trade deadline always the price tag is always gonna be higher. So for teams that are concerned about what baseball looks like next year, for teams that are in this kind of bubble trying to sell, I think it's smart trying to build upon for the next coming years. So it's gonna be interesting to see if we see more teams like make those kind of moves, if we see kind of the weird buys. Like I can see that like the Tigers, depending on who they trade Mize to, get back like a pitcher with a year and a half of control. And they'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, we love that. So I don't know. Do you want to wrap up the Soriano trade and then move on to Adele real quickly?
Yeah. Again, I mean, for me, the trade is just like I'm confused what the Blue Jays are doing. I will also add to this that just a few moments ago, where is it? Joel Sherman tweeted out that teams were calling the Angels on Jose Soriano, obviously, and apparently that has not stopped, as now some teams are calling the Blue Jays. on Jose Soriano.
Joel
Can
Sherman
we
has it.
imagine if the Blue Jays acquired Soriano, traded their number one prospect to the Angels, and then flipped him? Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Again, I'm just like, the Blue Jays are doing some weird things. Like, are they gonna make some wacky ass trade here coming up?
You want to talk about a wacky ass trade? Also, according to Joel Sherman, Padres want a left-handed bat, and they've talked to the Orioles about Jackson Holiday.
Wacky, weird. Let's get
Weird.
weird.
Let's get weird. Trying to see if there's been any other moves recently, and if there's like a downtime to start talking about other moves. I think we're in the clear for a little bit. I think we're fine. Okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, the Soriano trade's weird. Again, love it for the future, but to give up, I mean, you're gonna have to give up a lot, and for the Angels finally selling, like, that's the good package, and that's probably the outside of if you trade Detmers, that's the best package you're probably gonna get. Out of a deal right now. So I mean, I'm not hating that if I'm an Angels fan. The Joe Adell trade, I don't know. I
What
don't
did they
know, dude.
get? I didn't ever see the return.
They got Jacob Kozar, who is the Guardians' 18th prospect. He's the 18th in the Angel system now as well. You know, a lot of people, you know, probably expected more from Joe Adell, but yes, he does have a year and a half of control. But the numbers are down, and I know he had an incredible 36, 37 home run season last year, but the numbers are down for him this year. And if there's someone who knows what Joe Adell's numbers are, it's me. Want to know why? Because he's on my fantasy team. So,
Well, if anyone knows about Joe Adell, it's me.
yeah, sure.
We don't speak of that day though.
Yeah, you were the one of the best pictures I have in my camera roll is you looking. He's holding in like total distress, and you like wanting to like die after he robbed that third home run.
What a horrible moment.
When we go to the Broncos Chargers game in the fall, I want a moment like that to happen so he can be you.
Broncos moment?
Yeah.
We gotta buy like Chargers jerseys just to troll him.
I am not spending.
So funny.
The only money I'd be spending on a Chargers jersey is like potentially for like. I mean, now we're getting into personal.
This is what Depop is for. This is what Depop's for.
That's what Depop's for. The only reason why I buy a Chargers jersey, and you know, it's little leak online there for the Live the W pod is my girl. It's like that's a whole new storyline for you, Mahal.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Oh Lord. Hell no.
Padres have checked in on Jackson Holiday per sources Francis Romero.
I told you.
Very interesting.
Jackson Holiday feels like a change of scenery guy. You know who else I could see taking a flyer on? Not the Padres, but like any team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I already have it. It's so obvious.
Oh boy.
Because this team hasn't done jack shit, and they need to, or else they're gonna get swept in the NLCS again. Royce Lewis is such a Brewer.
Royce Lewis and Brewer.
Royce Lewis is such a Brewer. He's a change of scenery guy.
But where does he get playtime on that team? He's been terrible.
What, who did the Brewers have at third right now? No one? That's not trying to be mean.
Must be someone. They've been unbelievable.
It's got to be someone. Oh, it's David Hamilton and Joey Ortiz.
God damn.
Are you okay with that?
Hey man, it's working.
It's working somehow.
Somehow it's
Cooper
working.
Pratt's been a dog kind of. Yeah, man, the Brewers are. I have no idea. Like, if their only move is Lance McCullers Jr., who they released,
there's no way.
I'm out on the Brewers. I'm out.
There's no way.
I mean, that's the only move they've made. To me, right now, the Brewers feel like the Reds from this offseason. Oh, we didn't get Schwarber? We're not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel that way a little bit. I'm disappointed they didn't get Skubal, to be honest. I know, obviously, you're a Dodgers fan. You wanted Skubal, you got Skubal, whatever. But, I mean, those games, Dodgers, Brewers, whenever that series inevitably would happen, like, Miz and Skubal against the Dodgers would have been freaking unreal.
And I think that's honestly part of, like, obviously, it's the Dodgers, obviously, people are pissed, but people want to see the best matchups, right?
Yep.
People would love to see a 1-2 punch of Mizrachi Wheeler, or Mizrachi Skubal. People would have loved to see a Philly series where your 3 is Wheeler, Skubal, Sanchez against Yamamoto, Shohei, Snell. Like, that's you wanna talk about world-class baseball? That's world-class baseball. And we can get to the Skubal trade in a bit. I do wanna wrap up Adele real quick just 'cause I
Okay.
do wanna hear your thoughts on it a little bit. Um, I don't know. I felt like if the Joe Adele trade happened, it would be to a team that needed a big swing. The Guardians do, but this isn't the swing I expected from them. I just didn't. Because it's not their philosophy. It never really has been a philosophy to go out there and get a big guy like this, um, who has the potential and has the prowess that Joe Adele does. And he kind of feels like a Guardian guy. Get him in the lab. He can get back to last year. Like his
Yeah.
only good thing on his amount page right now is his bat speed, which is the 97th percentile. Other than that, the next highest thing is his expected slugging at the 72nd percentile. So the
Yeah.
Guardians, get him in the lab,
It's
do something. But for Guardians, again, they're one of the bubble teams in the AL. Almost every team in the AL is a
yeah.
bubble team. But I mean, I don't know, man. If you're the Guardians, was this the right move? I guess is what I'm asking. To where I feel like Adele would have been the perfect fit on that team, like the Phillies, even the Mariners. We're looking for something. But for
I
the
just
Guardians, who were still searching for an answer, was this the right move?
well, I think for the Guardians, the thing is, right, like, are we going to legit compete for a wild card spot this season? Obviously, they're in that wild card spot right now, but I mean, I don't know if I see the Guardians just sticking around the rest of this year and getting that wild card spot. It's them and the White Sox really for the division, it kind of feels like, right? And I think that the Guardians look at themselves and they say, all right, we're getting Jose Ramirez back here. Like, we feel like we are going to be fine as soon as Jose Ramirez is back and we can go on a run and we can be better than the White Sox as we showed at the beginning of the season. I don't think they're necessarily looking for a big move. I don't think they're necessarily thinking, right, like, this is our year to go in. This is our year to push for a big move. And that's also just not really what the Guardians do. And Joe Adell's a move that, look, it could flop, it could be terrible, or he could show what he has always had in him and be the player that you expected him to potentially be when he first came up with the Angels. And if he can do that, then it raises what the Guardians can potentially do. But again, it does feel like it's another one of these moves where it's a marginal move that feels like it's a little bit, insignificant at times and in some ways. But if he pops, if he plays well, like it could be significant. It could be the thing that pushes them over. As we have a Jeff Passan tweet, it finally happened. It finally happened. The rumors all morning.
Wow.
Boston Red Sox are acquiring in division three-time All-Star catcher Adley Rutschman in a trade with the Baltimore Orioles per Jeff the Passan.
Wow.
Initial reaction, Mike.
Initial reaction, I don't know why I didn't think this was going to happen, just because of the in-division-ness. I kind of thought if there's an in-division trade for a catcher in the AL East, it would have gone to the Yanks, and then that's just me on the outside looking in. But for the Red Sox team, man, what a story they've been. Again, talk about how they've been able to just kind of come back from the dead. We were in on them the entire time, obviously, because we know ball. Kidding. Obviously, we thought they were dead too, but we liked their off season, and there's a core there, and I'm really interested about the package. I'm really interested about the
Yeah.
package because to me, this feels like their big move, and it is a
Oh, this
good
is
big move for them.
absolutely big. The
It
big
is a
move.
good big move for them. But a lot of people were linked to Neto. A lot of people had them linked to other shortstops
Yeah.
to where, yes, Adley's a phenomenal get for you guys. You have a year and a half of him, if I'm not mistaken. I'm really intrigued to see what this return is. I love it for the Red Sox, as from the catching front, because they needed catching help so desperately. And you do expect Trevor Story to be back at some point. You expect guys like maybe potentially Christian Campbell to have some impact. You expect an IKF to be back. You even hope that Embiid can be back. And you like what you've done out of Monasterio. Like Monasterio has been sneaky good. Diced up my Dodgers this weekend. Um, my sneaky like fan fiction for the Red Sox that I like love, like just because why not? Because they want to have chaos. Moving Rafaela to shortstop, like Story being out for the year, and like trading Duran like for another piece
Yeah,
because there's some crazy stuff. But I mean, if
I
you're the Red
mean,
Sox, you can't be too mad about this deal. I love this fit for you guys. I mean, I just remember the first thing that came to my mind was I don't know if it was 24, 25. I think it was 24. His like 5 for 5 day almost cycle in Fenway.
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Mahal? This is. I mean, this is.
I I mean, the first thing you go to immediately, right, is I mean, number one, what's the return? And we'll get into that when we can get the return. And number two, this fit in Fenway is gonna be really fun. Really, really fun. Going from Camden Yards, which has just been played with too much, especially in left field, to the Green Monster and Fenway. Like it's gonna be really, really interesting. Let's see if we can get his numbers
Red Sox
actually
still
at
will love to come away with a shortstop at the end of the day. So they're on top.
wow.
Bob
That is
Nightingale. That is
crazy.
Bob. It is Boob. But
At Fenway. Let's see if we can get numbers on Adley Rutschman at Fenway. Okay.
wait, am I? Oh, I
Career
mixed. I mixed my
239 hitter
IL.
with 3 home runs. He has not been great at Fenway. Interesting.
But they needed. They
Uh,
needed a jolt. They needed
they
a
needed a
jolt,
jolt. This
and
is
it
a
feels
big
like
move.
Adley is the jolt they needed.
Yeah. And right, like it's been rumored all morning. It was like, is it really gonna happen? Uh it's a big move. It amps up the clubhouse. Like that's a exciting move. Like that makes their lineup better. That makes them better. He's been up and down in his time with Baltimore, but it's Adley freaking Rutschman. Like
It's
this guy
Adley
was
Rutschman.
ninth in MVP voting in 2023 when he had a 128 OPS plus. Like since then, he really hasn't been that guy, but he's back closer to that with a 114 OPS plus so far this season. Like this guy could legit impact the Red Sox. And for the Red Sox, who I predicted to win that division at the start of the year, that's a really exciting move that raises your floor and raises your ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's just. I mean, if you look at like a healthy, sorry, I'm seeing a lot of people saying Detmer's Cubs in places, but I don't know. It doesn't look like that's official.
Oh, yeah, I see
So
that.
we'll see.
We'll
We'll
see if
see
that
what's the word on
fully
that if that
breaks.
fully goes. Yeah. Um. Sorry. Yeah. So that kind of threw me off. Yeah. No. I mean, again, you're healthy. You're looking at an infield where you have Story back. You have the kind of you have Wilson Contreras being who he's been all year, and you have guys like Mead, like a Sigler, like Sogard, Monasterio, Durbin, kind of plugging away and kind of filling in the spots for you. To where I mean, Jason Benetti, one of my favorite broadcasters in the game for Sunday Night Baseball,
Yeah.
said it best yesterday. He goes, the Red Sox are doing the small things right for the first time in so long. Like the amount of bunts they dropped in this series, like generally pissed me off as a Dodger fan. But
Yeah.
it was also like that's what you want to see from a Red Sox team that can afford to play like that because they have the right guys to do it. So for a Red Sox team that gets a little bit more thump, which they kind of needed because they did have the sluggers. They had Wilson. You have guys there that can give you the slug. Send out Rafaela, who is broken out. And I genuinely think I have a curse, and I'll say this here. Um, I think if I whenever I say a guy doesn't deserve to be an All Star at one point in the year, they have like an MVP caliber series against the Dodgers. It happened in Whit Merrifield in 2024, 2023 against us. It happened this year with Cedric Rafaela. Because at first, when he had 750 OPS, I was like, I don't know. Like, he's been good, but is he All Star good? And then had the best series of his life and is now AL Player of the Week.
Yeah.
So that's a side note for there. But the Red Sox, I mean, if you're a Boston sports fan, um,
Boston.
you can't be too mad right now. Like if we like I know she doesn't know too much ball, and I'm not trying to diss her out, but like if we had Aubrey Veyu come shout out Aubrey Veyu come up on the show as our Red Sox fan expert, I think she'd be pretty hyped because Adley Rutschman's a good get.
It is a good get. I mean, it's a legit guy. Like this is a guy that has shown what he can be through spurts of his career. Like He has been that guy for multiple years. He was a 5.5 win player in his rookie year, 4.5 win player in his sophomore season, and since then has really struggled to get off of the schneid and really become the player that we've expected him to be. Interesting thing, right, is gonna be the package. It's in division, which you would imagine means that package is gonna be even bigger than it
I
otherwise
think
would have
Myers in
been.
that deal. A lot of Red Sox guys have kind of been a little bit done with Marcelo Meyer, but I think it makes sense, especially with the rumors on Holiday maybe being traded. I think Meyer has to be in this deal.
Yeah, which is just, like, it's fascinating from both perspectives. You look at it from an Orioles perspective, like, this was the guy you expected to build around, him and Gunnar, and it just, like, it didn't work out. You're moving on from Adley here. What are you getting back? How are you gonna be able to compete this year, potentially? Probably not this year, but next year in 2028 and beyond then, because you still have pieces in place to be able to do stuff. It's just you haven't been able to build a team to come together and be the team you expected them to be. How do you use this trade to create those pieces? You obviously have your catcher in Samuel Basallo, who has been good this year so far, I believe. I haven't looked at his numbers in a little while, but I believe he's been really solid. Um, and how do you get some of these guys back to where they're supposed to be? I mean, we talk about Adley sort of having a great start to his career and then struggling. But what about Gunnar Henderson? How does Gunnar Henderson become the player that he was early in his career? How does he get back to what that player was, which was one of the best shortstops in baseball, maybe the best shortstop in the American League? And as those two guys have started to fall off, like the Orioles have started to fall off, their lineup started to fall off, and now you traded one of them. Like I just it's gotta hurt, I'd imagine, as an Orioles fan, because it looked like this window was all there for you. It looked like things were happening, and this just signals to me like it's sort of the end of that window a little bit. I don't know if I can fully say that because you still
No,
have pieces in place.
I'm kind of with you, and I think if you're this deadline, if you're fans of teams, I think it sucks the most if you're a fan of the Tigers and the Orioles who so desperately needed their window and they
Yep.
found it, and it just didn't work. And to me, it feels very reminiscent of like last year's Rangers. Like, yeah, like they were in the well, they won the World Series, and maybe this is a window opening, and it just hasn't worked out. But yeah, I mean, it kind of similarly with the Giants a little bit. I'll say too. Again, they won 107 in 21. They coming out, they're looking to find something to do here. They finally get an identity, and it just doesn't work out. And that's baseball sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work out. And smart GMs kind of realize that and do what they can to retool. Now is that me saying I think Michael Elias is a smart GM? No, I will come out and say whatever. And I'm sure Michael Elias is a nice guy, but every Orioles fan, every person I've talked to surrounding by the Orioles has never had a more disdain for a person than Orioles fans do for Michael Elias. I still remember that quote at the 2024 winter meetings when he's like, why'd you push the wall back in left field? And he's like, so we could sign big sluggers like Tyler O'Neill and Gary Sanchez. That quote lives rent free in my brain
Yeah.
because I mean, just crazy. But I mean, for the Orioles, again, it kind of signals the end of a window a little bit, which kind of sucks. But I think the biggest thing here is let's see the package, and when the package drops, it'll be interesting. If Myers in this package, I'm being so honest with you, I expect Jackson Holiday to be gone.
You expect him to what?
I expect Jackson Holiday to be gone, like fully.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see what the Orioles do, man.
Is Trevor Rogers gone? Like, does this open the door for
Like,
him? And that's my next question.
how many guys are they trading? You've traded like that's your guy. I mean, that's your guy, and you trade him to an in division rival. Like
Reed
that
Detmers Cubs.
hurts. Official?
Baseball posted it.
In-
Per
Interesting.
Michael Bleacher Nation. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I
There's
saw
no.
some Cubs guys talking about it.
I saw some people comment on it.
Uh,
No passing bomb yet. So I'm a little
I'm waiting for
skeptical.
the passing. It's all about the passinator.
Yeah, I agree. Dude. I mean, first of all, to be like, I just like a guy like him. Um, he's awesome, but I also just love his fucking Twitter like thing. I bomb atomically. It's just awesome.
Passins?
Yeah, his like Twitter bio, I believe. Yeah, it's straight
Passins
up.
the goat, dude.
He goes ESPN. Period. I bomb atomically. Yeah. So no, yeah, no interest. So it was a Bleacher Report trade, first reported by Michael Cerami. No official like big guy that has reported um Detmers.
I'd
Oh, look at
imagine that
that.
just means it's close, but not
Yeah. Wait,
done
look at
yet.
this, Mahal. Look at that.
What do you got for me? All right, get that out of here. Get that
Look at
out of here.
that. That's so beautiful.
Take that off my screen.
Yeah, so this is
Take
this
that
is
off
what
my
we
screen. Give me
have.
Taylor Ward.
Yeah. I'll give you Taylor Ward.
Feed me
Hold on.
Taylor
I'll
Ward.
give you Taylor Ward. I'll gladly give you Taylor
Oh
Ward. I
no.
wanted Taylor Ward for you guys so much.
Oh no.
Um,
I'm not
why are
sure
you
I'm
saying oh
ready to
no?
see what you're putting here.
No, I'm not actually putting anything.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Oh, I wouldn't do that to
Woo!
you.
Uh, Still no package on either.
Rumored that Anthony Iverson, if I'm saying that right, is
Oh,
in the deal.
Ianson. Drafted at
Rumor has
LSU
it that he's
college
in the
pitcher last
deal.
year. He's been really good, I think. Ianson. He was like the second guy in the LSU rotation last year behind Cade Anderson. He was really good.
Your guy, Cade.
I love me some Cade Anderson. That's why I know this. You ready for this ERA?
For who?
Ianson
Sure.
started the season in high A, 20 and a third innings, 0.44 ERA. Got promoted to Double A.
Yeah, he's a dog.
48 innings, 10 starts, 11 appearances, ERA of 1.69. That's a good get. That's a good get.
You're
If
probably
that
good get.
is part of the package, that's a really good get for the Orioles who need pitching closer to the majors. This is a guy that, if I'm not mistaken, could probably impact them, if not this year, definitely next year. Definitely next year. Could be a big part of their rotation, a guy that would be controllable, a guy that'd be young. They were wanting to get Bryce Miller, Brian Wu a few years ago. We were like, hell to the no. Hail to the no. But now they get a prospect version in Anthony Ianson, a guy that has the potential to be really, really solid. Like, this is a good get for the Orioles. We'll see what else is in it. But, I mean, if that's the headliner, I think that's a pretty solid headliner for your catcher in Adley Rutschman.
I mean, that's a great get for a team that has so desperately needed pitching. They get a great prospect for that pitching, and I mean, based on those numbers, he looks awesome. None of the big guys have Detmers to the Cubs, but every kind of site is kind of saying it's happened. So I'm trying to find something right now. That's kind of
You just got to imagine it's not like fully done yet or something. I would imagine it's like about to happen.
I reloaded Bob Nightingale's page too much.
Boob.
It crashed out. Yeah. It crashed on me. Cool. Thanks, Bob.
Dang. Ianson is a really good get for the Orioles. It's a
Where
really
is
good
he?
get.
Where is he? Yeah, let me see where he's ranked.
Yeah, Red Sox fans are not happy.
He's ranked 49th in baseball.
Yeah, he's a really, really good prospect. And it's just what the Orioles need. Like, they've been desperately needing a pitcher. California kid, Lakewood High School.
Lakewood High School, shout out.
University of California, San Diego, stud. So as we work to get Mike back in here, hopefully in a second, let's talk about Taylor Ward. Or not. He's back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Sorry, my AirPods, one of my AirPods died, so I had to switch out the other one.
Well, that would do it.
I have a very scuffed setup right now. All my stuff, like my main stuff, is packed away, getting ready to move into the K. So I'm working on a little bit of a scuffed setup, but it's okay. We're back. We're back. We're still cashing.
We're here for the deadline.
We're here for the deadline.
T-minus 3 hours.
Crazy.
3 hours.
Dude, I'll never forget how defeated I was after last year's deadline. Oh, I broke Twitter.
You broke Twitter?
None of them is. I think I refreshed the page too much. I think I'm a bot because they're not loading for me anymore. I'll share my screen.
Oh my god!
Hold on.
I think another interesting piece of this is Jeff
Look,
Passan. Yes,
something went
Ianson
wrong.
is the
Something
centerpiece.
went wrong.
Yeah, you broke it, dude. You broke it.
Something went.
How have we done this?
I was reloading so much, and I think nothing in my bot. See?
That's shameful. Disappointing. Ianson is the headliner. It sounds like it does sound like there's potentially more in it. I would assume it's not one for one. Um, it'll be interesting to see if the Red Sox try to extend him. Right, like this is a guy that is 28 years old. He's going to be in his age 29 season next year. Like, there's plenty of potential to extend the guy, plenty of potential to make sure that this guy stays in Boston, especially if he has a good half season here. Like, this could be a potential future catcher for quite a few years in Boston.
They've needed a catcher. I mean, from Connor
Yeah.
Wong to I mean, I don't know if Narvaez was great last year, but they needed someone, and to finally get the guy to kind of be that to be the guy behind the plate, I think is so huge for them. Again, it's gonna be interesting to see the rest of this deal. If Ironton was the only big guy they got, um, or they gave up, I think that's huge because I think you can still go out there and get someone like a Zach Netta, who they've been so heavily linked to. The whole Ellie thing was crazy. Like that even
Oh,
being a report. What?
according to just baseball media, Peter Appel,
Shout
um,
out Peter. Love Peter.
love Peter, does great stuff over there. Angels and Cubs are not close on a trade for Reed Detmers. Sources tell just baseball media.
Whoa! Big package.
Ready. Give it.
Whoa! 5 people. Ianson.
Five?
This is Ken Rosenthal. Anthony Ianson, India Zokar, Kyson Witherspoon, Harold Rivas, and Carlos Narvaez.
Wow. Kyson Witherspoon and Ianson?
That is, I did not expect that to be on Ken Rosenthal's feed right now.
Wow. Before we get into that, Joel Sherman, Pirates are pushing hard to finalize a deal for Luke Weaver. Fuck the Pirates.
Oh.
Let me see if I can get this tweet up about the package.
Yeah, it's Ken Rosenthal. Mark Feinsand 2 minutes ago sources tell me the Angels started Reed Demers have not been traded. Yeah. Wow.
Let's see. Let me look up some of these other guys. Red Sox top prospects. 5 guys. That is a huge package. Ianson, of course, the headliner. That's the second ranked prospect on Pipeline for the Red Sox. This is going to be all the Red Sox rankings. Witherspoon is number 4. Azokar is number 5. Obviously, Carlos Narvaez already in the big leagues. He had a really good season last year. Has been, I think, just sort of up and down this year. And then Harold Rivas is really, really young. He's just 18 years old. And he is the 17th ranked prospect in the Red Sox system. And that is a huge package.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Let's
gonna be interesting.
see what Red Sox fans are saying. You got to imagine that might be too big of a package for Red Sox fans to be happy. I mean, you keep Franklin Arias, but
big of a package. I love how Danny Duffy is trending on sports just because of that. Because it was the perfect. I mean, it's the perfect comp. If Chris Beavis doesn't pitch for us this year, I mean, it really is. Wow.
Let's
That's
see.
a big.
Fangraphs.
That's an insane package.
And that's number 2, number 5, and number 8, plus more on Fangraphs top Red Sox prospects.
Crazy.
Just one top 100 there, though. It is Ianson. Very interesting.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
That's just like, it's a hard one to wrap your head around because it's huge. That is a huge return.
that's a big that's a big yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little kind of starstruck that the Adley package was that. I'm a little I
I
didn't
mean,
think
Adley's been good, but like, let's look. What are
I
his
mean,
numbers?
but he's still not 2023 Adley.
No, by no means is he. Not even 2024 Adley. I think that's the interesting thing here, right? Is like, I mean, what is Adley at this point? Doesn't feel like he can catch every day necessarily. He's dealt with injuries here and there, including right now he's on the injured list. He has, yeah, a year and a half of control. You're giving up all of that for a year and a half of control for a guy that hasn't been over a 3-win player since 2023. He was a 2.5, just slightly over 2.5 win player in 2024, looking at Fangraphs FWAR. Last year, he was barely over a 1-win player, and so far he's below 2.5 wins. Like, it's really interesting. It's a lot to give up, but if you're giving that up, you must really believe that Adley is the truth. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I like to me, like that needs to be like an extension.
Hey, I think you have to, right? Like, and you can't account for that into prospect packages and into trade packages. That's not part of it. But oh,
That's interesting. Some reports have come out saying that Brady Singer is not going to be traded from the Reds, which is
is he a
insane considering
rental?
how good he's a rental, and with how good he's been over the past like month plus, that's kind of crazy. I don't know if that report's true, but I'm seeing a lot of reports on it on some other streams chats. Yep, nope. The Cincinnati Reds plan to keep Brady Singer at the deadline.
Very interesting.
That's stupid. If I'm a Reds fan, I'm pissed.
I mean, yeah. If I'm a Pirates fan, um, it sounds like they're pushing hard for Weaver. Like, what does it cost for the Pirates? They're third in their division, below 500. 14 games back of the Brewers. How far are they from a wild card spot?
They're like 3 games out, but I think if you're the Pirates, it's also again Weaver's on a
Three and a
2-year
half games
deal.
out.
You're building for next year,
True. That is true.
where they can go out this off season if there's an off season, that he could go out there and make more moves. I'm trying to
Very
see. Oh,
interesting.
Mike shot to the White Sox for sure.
Yep. Luke Weaver to the Pirates.
Official?
Pass and just retweeted.
Wow.
No! Ugh.
Wow.
The freaking Mets, dude. And the Pirates. Pissing me off.
Luke Weaver to the Pirates. Wow. I don't know why this one kind of hurts me for you.
Yeah, that one
kind of
sucks.
hurts.
I don't like it. It's a bullpen that's not been very good. Gregory Soto's been their closer. It'll be interesting to see what they give up.
That's interesting because Weaver's been dominant, dude.
It's gonna be really interesting to see what
And
they
it's
give up
weird
here.
if we have a year and a half of control. Yeah, he's controllable next year at $12.5 million salary. That's not too bad. People are saying, whoa. People are saying home Phillies.
Clay Holmes to the Phillies?
People are saying home Phillies. I don't know if that's true.
Let's see.
O'Neal Cruz back to Mets in the Weaver. Whoa! Oh, okay. Revis is not in the deal for Rutschman, but there's a player to be named later in his place.
Isn't that the worst player in it, though?
Yes. So you're still giving up your number 4, number 2, and your number 5 prospect. and Carlos Tavares and a player to be named later.
That's a big trade, man.
I mean, for the Orioles, it seemed it was going to happen at some point sooner than later, just because of the
Yeah.
fact that you had Basayo, you had already extended him. Like, yeah, I mean, trying to see anything else, any other rumors. Astros are in on Trevor Larnach again. I guess that to me that means that the price tag for Stowers is too high.
I mean, and the Astros just don't have the system right now to go and pay for a guy like that.
They don't.
I mean, what do they give up?
Okay, yeah, Cam Smith exactly. Like that's yeah, yeah. So no return on Weaver yet, which is interesting. If you're the Mariners, what's your next biggest thing you want?
I don't know. I think you need a reliever. It depends sort of like who actually is available, right? Like if Jeff Hoffman's available, I would love it. If Adrian Morejon is available, like I'd love it. But ultimately, like this bullpen like freaking needs help. Like needs help. Like I don't really know how the Mariners at this point would be able to win this division and go through the rest of August when they have a really, really difficult schedule without help to the bullpen. Matt Brash isn't back until probably the beginning of September at the soonest. Like, and by that point, like the Astros are playing really good ball. Like, are they going to have pushed the Mariners almost out of it? Um, Look, there's still 2 hours and 45 minutes until the deadline, and there are still names to be got, and the Mariners could still, trade one of Kirby or Hancock. And I mean, there's been rumors that it's likely that they'll do it. And like that's how you get a crazy trade. Like the Orioles, they traded Adley. Like, is Yenier Cano available? Is Rico Garcia
They just
available?
extended Cano. That'd be crazy.
But it's to me like that extension, right? Is like
Passing.
you got something.
Cubs are acquiring left-hander Braxton Garrett from the Miami
Okay,
Marlins.
okay. Interesting. Let's look at those numbers.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Braxton
Braxton Garrett to the
Garrett.
Cubbies.
He has been he's barely
So
pitched
Detmers
this
is
year.
not happening. He's barely pitched this year. He's been kind of injured. Is he in Triple A?
He missed all of 2025
He's been awful.
and has been terrible in his 4 innings.
He's been in Triple A. They sit him down in May, and he hasn't returned since in the minor leagues this year. He has a 2.90 ERA and 16 starts, so he's back to what he was doing in 23.
Huh.
So
That
there.
is
It's
an
interesting.
interesting one.
It feels like to me, which if we want to get into the other trades later, we can get into that. But it feels like what the Braves do with Tyler Mahle. Like, okay, we miss out on a guy. Let's get something.
Yeah. I think it's interesting too though, like that's not a move that necessarily prohibits the Cubs from going and doing anything else, right? Like
It
that's a move
doesn't.
for depth. Like that's a move that okay, if we don't get anything else done, we have this and we can potentially try this. Um, but again, I mean, Garrett hasn't had a full MLB season since 23. That's his
Ken
only full season.
Rosenthal.
Yep.
Brewers make their first move.
What do we
Dustin
got?
May and Jojo Romero in division for the Cardinals.
Ah, okay, another reliever off the board. Cardinals starting to sell a little bit. That one makes sense. What are his numbers looking like this year? JoJo.
Dustin May is such a Brewer. He's gonna carve up my daughter's fucking revenge, isn't he? Fuck.
I hope so.
Fuck.
I hope so.
Fuck.
I hope so. Fuck the
I hate
Dodgers, dude.
this. Dustin May's gonna carve up my fucking Dodgers.
JoJo's been pretty good this year. He's even had more home runs than he did last year, but still an ERA of 3.5. Left-handed reliever. Let's look at his splits. I would assume he is just torched lefties. He's also on the 15-day injured list, right? Is that right?
Who?
Yeah, he just resumed light baseball activities.
Who did?
JoJo Romero.
Really?
Lefties have been good against him. He has reverse splits.
I was not aware he was injured.
That's very weird. Uh, get me a freaking reliever, man. Get me a freaking reliever. I think the continual movement from the Marlins of trading guys, right? Like, even though Braxton Garrett isn't on their roster, like, that's another move. They're clearing space. Like, they're gonna continue trading guys. Like, I legit wonder if the Mariners are trying to work something where they get Pete Fairbanks and they get like an Otto Lopez and they go trade Hancock and some prospects to them.
I think that would make sense, and I feel like for teams that like have not made a move, like even like the Brewers, like it's because they're working on something big. At least that's the hope, right? And again, I know it's crazy to say something big with Dustin May and Joe Romero, but that's a pretty big deal. Especially when you're talking about an in division trade. Um, it's gonna be interesting. It looks like we have the package for Weaver. Right now the Mets are getting back infielder Sammy Stafara, who is, I believe, the number 9 prospect in the Pirate system. He is shortstop. Some really good numbers this year. Had to break out having his prospect breakout season this year.
Let's see.
The on base is usually really good. The slugging has come into form a little bit more this year. So that's looks like what you're gonna get out of that. The guy who reported Reed Detmers has doubled down, even though reporters have come out and said that Detmers is not getting traded. People are saying that he has doubled down on his initial report. Michael Cerami, let me see.
OPS below 800.
I obviously see the pushback from solid reporters out there. For now, I'm standing by my reporting. I haven't been wrong before and trust my sources. If I need to retract and apologize, I will, but we are not there yet. Wow. No, good for him.
I respect that, you know? I respect that.
I respect that. As the journalists we are too. You kind of respect that. We have the package back from Garrett, and
What do you got?
Let me look at the system so I can know what the exact like prospect ranking is. They acquired Jonathan Long, the number 10 prospect, first baseman, outfielder, and they acquired Jace Beck, who is their 28th ranked prospect, a pitcher. 3.6 ERA on the year, has been kind of a swingman. Not too bad. Obviously, I think the main get here is Jonathan Long, who is 24. He's a first base outfielder, so kind of blocked. His OPS by season, he's in AAA. He's been in AAA for the past been in AAA for the past 2. But season to season from 23 to 25 or 26 of OPS for Long, 973, 852, 883, 819. So it's been progressively, kind of tabling in the 800s, but I think you don't hate that package if you are the Marlins. No news on the package yet from the Brewers. It is like it's 1-for-1 Sammy Stafura for the Weaver. That's a 1-for-1 looks like. Nothing else too crazy happening yet. I just saw someone say awful move, Taylor Ward to the Mariners.
Yo, why are we hating? Whoa!
I don't know.
Whoa!
That popped up on my feed right now, and I was like,
"Jeez, we gave up 3 bags of chips."
Look at this. Let me turn my brightness down. That's insane. That's insane.
That trade is so wild.
That's and well, I might cause some shit right now, Mahal, but that's a bigger package than what the Packers got for Skubal.
Well, yeah, but it's a half season of Skubal.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Except when we extend them.
Well, yeah, but that's why you guys were able to give up that big of a package.
Yeah.
I mean, for another team, like, doesn't make sense.
He's such a Mariner. I really want him to be a Mariner.
Who?
Skubal.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. That's just like my
God.
He's gonna lead us to a 3-peat. And then
I don't even want him. Screw that.
Then he's gonna go to the Mariners.
Screw that, dude.
John Heyman. Dustin May go to Brewers. Ken Rosenthal first. Yes, we know that.
Has Dustin May been good this year?
He's he's been the most perplexing. I mean, if you wanna call Daniel Kaufman and ask his thoughts about Dustin May because of
Oh my
fantasy, go
god.
ahead. He's been so weird. He will have the best out of his career and then give up 10 runs the next. He's a 4.38 ERA in 109 innings. He's been struggling as of late. If you look at his game logs, he started off the year 4 innings, 6 runs against the Rays, and then 3 innings, 7 runs to the Tigers, and then went on this stretch: 6 innings, 1 run; 6 innings, 1 run; 6 innings, 1 run; 7 innings, 2 runs; 7 innings, 3 runs; 6 innings, 2 runs; 6 innings, 3 runs. So he was dominant from like
God.
April to mid-May, and then had a 4-run outburst again, and then had 2 back-to-back amazing starts. He had one against the Mets, and then he had the complete game shutout against the Padres. And ever since then, he has really, really struggled again. Had a nice start against the Cubs last time out. He's been kind of back. He had 1 earned against the Reds, 5 shutty against the Cubs. So I mean, as far as your in division stuff goes, he's been dominating the Central a little bit, which looks nice.
Yeah.
His fastball run value is at 11, which is a 94th percentile, which you'd love. The ground ball rate 52%. I don't know how well that's gonna play up in Milwaukee. The hard hit rate's at 5 percentile, so be interesting to see what they do with him. Um, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean,
Let's see.
it's not the most bizarre trade of all time. It's definitely
It's one that I think makes sense for the
interesting.
Brewers.
It makes sense. It makes sense that like Dustin May, former top prospect. I mean, this is a guy I met.
That's your guy? That's your
I
boy?
met I met Dustin May in 2019 when they did winter camps at Dodger Stadium. He's my guy. I really wanted him to work out. He just was never healthy. Kind of sucked that it did because he has insane talent. Um, my mom just texted me something. Okay, cool. Thank you, mom. Thank you, mom. But yeah, I mean, when he's on, dude, he can be lights out, dude. Like again, that Padres game we saw. I know it's his first really amazing game of his career, but when he's right, that's what he can do, dude. His stuff doesn't have the craziest movement, but when he's on, and I think the Brewers are a team that can help him get back because when he's right, his sweeper sinker combo is the nicest I've ever seen. I mean, one of my favorite highlights in all of shout out Holden Buckley in the chat, by the way.
Shout out. Shout
um
out.
our guy, our triplet in crime. But it's really interesting because of the fact that one of my favorite highlights is seeing the Dustin May 2020 strikeout against Manny Machado because he like just swords him and it's crazy. But yeah, it feels like a Brewers trade. I'm wondering what the Jojo Romero aspect looks like for them, what the role he plays. And it looks like things have died down a little bit. Looking for
Yeah, we had a
anything
little
new.
flurry there. It does feel like there's a little bit less
A
going.
little bit less action. It's been a great deadline day.
There's been a lot going on.
What? Hold on.
What?
Adley Rutschman not the only catcher going to Red Sox. Jake Rogers also going from Orioles to Red Sox in this trade.
What?
Jake Rogers has gone from the Tigers to the Orioles to the Red Sox in like 4 days.
Why would they go get Jake Rogers? He's like, isn't he
Well,
shit?
they trade to me. That means that they're going to DFA or send down Connor Long.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Jake Rogers is a rental who can provide good defense, and is a great like veterans guy, like veteran clubhouse, like kind of glue guy. So that's interesting to me. Where did I see Boob Nightingale? The Astros have revived talks with the Minnesota Twins about Trevor Larnach. Talks broke off last week when the Astros backed off the last minute about including reliever Brian Abreu.
Fuck the Astros. That's my thoughts on that.
What's your thoughts on that? You know, it's a pretty good thought. I saw another post yesterday that after the School Bowl. Whoa, Larnach's having a sneaky good season. Holy
Is
shit! Whoa!
What are his numbers?
Holy shit, dude! Look at his numbers. 10 home runs, 40 RBI, 832 OPS. It looks like he's only playing against righties. But the Savant doesn't love him. LA,
Amen.
his sweet spot percentage is in the 85th percentile, which is good.
That is good. 135
Um,
WRC plus.
he feels like an Astro. He feels like an
I would
Astro.
hate that. That would make me so annoyed.
What, Larnick?
Yeah,
Yeah, because he would just die. He would
because he
die
would
for a
face
million years.
every single one of our pitchers.
I was that is true. I was waiting for the game to start yesterday. I was watching on Peacock. I was watching what was it called? Like Sunday, it was like baseball bench, something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was like showing side by side Padres Giants, and then Mariners Twins. And then I was like, oh look, then I'm winning. And then the next pitch was Munoz giving up a bomb for the
Dude,
crucial. I was like, oh.
so
I
bad.
was like, oh.
Just the bullpen's a joke right now, dude. Like, and Sir Anthony Dominguez is not no fix for the bullpen. Like,
He was a
by
fix for the
any
Jays,
means.
though. He was a fix for the
If
Jays.
we rely on Sir Anthony Dominguez, I'll tell you right now, this team's not making the postseason.
Seems not like I'm telling you right now.
This team will be out of it by the beginning of September.
Eddie Rosario back to Braves. I would love that. That'd be awesome.
Now I'm just seeing videos of Joe Adell jumping in front of the crowd in front of my face. More trades. We need more trades to get
I
this
need
off
more
my feed.
trades. Yeah, get this shit off my feet.
Oh my
Here, you know
god.
what? Let's distract you for a little bit because let's do it. Let's talk about the Skubal trade.
No! No! Nobody needs to talk about the freaking Dodgers.
Okay.
Let me hear about the package actually. What did you think about the package?
About
Are you
the
happy
Dodger
with it?
package.
Yeah.
To me, it's really interesting, and a lot of people have been shitting on them, the Tigers, for getting nothing. I think it is really interesting because based off of some rumored package, we heard that potentially a Logan Henderson for the Brewers is on the table. Andrew Painter might have been on the table for the Phillies. But I think the Brady Smith of it all is very interesting because the Brady Smith kind of feels like a throw-in. Zaire Hope, I will say this is a dog. I remember that trade happening immediately. We traded Michael Bush and Yancy Almonte to the Cubs for Zaire Hope and Jackson Ferris at the beginning of the 24 season, just because they were out of room in our team. Just Bush had nowhere to go, and we wanted to give him a place to play. And he's been amazing with the Cubs. Zaire Hope and Jackson Ferris quickly rose to being like some of the best prospects in our system. Jackson Ferris has kind of fallen off a little bit with the past year and a half. His pitching has not been as great. But Zaire Hope just continued to improve and improve and improve. Like this is a guy who, like, if you were to ask me coming into the season, who are my two untouchable prospects, it was Jose De Paula and it was Zaire Hope. Obviously, Mike Sirota has taken that by far. Mike Sirota, what he's done in Double A, his 72 on base streak was incredible. But Zaire Hope, I mean, is a guy's guy, dude. He plays the game the right way. Everyone in our system loved him. All the scouts really loved him. I mean, you look at some of the numbers. OPS 804, OPS 899, 903 in his time with LA. He's been phenomenal, and he's only continued to get better. Last year, had 13 home runs and 80 RBI in 127 games, and 94 games this year, 23 home runs, 87 RBI. Has already blown past that. So I think Zaire Hope is going to be a real guy for them. I do believe that. And for people who don't really know about River Ryan, which I don't expect you to know about River Ryan, not a lot of people do. First of all, crazy story. Traded him for Matt Beatty at the end of 2021 to the Padres when River Ryan was kind of still a shortstop, and we said, no, we want you to go back to pitching. And he's a 20. Yes, he is 27-year-old. Yes, he is older. Yes, he is technically older by 100 days than Juan Soto.
That's crazy.
Just crazy,
That's
dude.
wild.
When River Ryan is right, he can be nasty. I remember watching. He made 4 starts for us in 24. Amidst that like weird area of our starters being injured, of Freddie dealing with that family stuff in 2024. When River Ryan was pitching for the Dodgers in 2024 in like that August July stretch, I genuinely was like, this is our 3 in the postseason. I was like, I would have gone Flaherty, Yamamoto, River Ryan.
That's crazy.
And then he had TJ. It was crazy, but like he was that good, dude. I know it's only 4 starts. Had a 1.33 ERA in 20 and a third innings with 18 Ks. When he's right, he can be so nasty, and he feels like a Tigers guy to mix in with like the Troy Melton and Ty Maddens of the world. And that's not me dissing the Tigers. It just to me feels like River Ryan feels like a Tigers guy based off of their philosophy and what we've seen from them. So for me, I don't hate the package at all. I mean, I think a lot of people are upset that Sheehan wasn't in this deal. I think a lot of Dodger fans were upset Sheehan wasn't in this deal after last night. Um, but which I do understand because I think a lot of the reports out there were the Tigers wanted a pitcher that they could help compete the rest of the season. River Ryan, I think he's a great pitcher. He's still coming off of Tommy John. I think he's on concussion protocol. I think as of recently, so he still is a little bit of ways away from being fully back. To where if you put MSG in the Tigers pitching lab, I think there's potentially a chance they could go out there and still somewhat compete. I don't hate it. It sucks to give up talent, and I know a lot of people are saying. I've seen a lot of people get mad at like, oh, the Dodgers develop, but they've turned out mid players that have been traded. Okay, Michael Bush was one of the best players in baseball last year. Miguel Vargas was an All Star this year, who was one of the best third basemen in baseball this year. Sure, maybe not immediately, but the guys figure it out. You know, that's the people who we've shipped away. They figured it out. Like Dustin May, it's been his best career year, finally healthy. Obviously, I know a 4.08, 4.38 ERA is nothing crazy, but for Dustin May, who's still trying to figure out who he is as a starting pitcher, that's what you love to see. And now he's having a chance to compete. To where Zaire Hope's going to be a dog one day, and I already have nightmares about Zaire Hope in like a 2030 World Series hitting a bomb off of Shohei or Yamamoto because I believe in Zaire Hope. I do. I like was honestly like a part of the reason why I loved the Bellinger fit for the Dodgers this offseason was if Freddie retired after 2 years, Belly goes to first, your outfield's DePaula, Hope, Baez. And that was like my
Yeah.
dream because I was so high on these guys. I still am. So to see Hope goes, it does kind of suck because I grew an emotional attachment to him because I do think he's going to be a dog in this league. Um, sorry. John Heyman, that's still expected to deal home with Robert Jr. and Tyrone Taylor. So it looks like those
Future
homes
Mariner Luis Robert?
yeah.
No.
Clay Holmes. Wait, what'd you say?
Future Mariner Luis Robert?
I love that for you guys actually.
No. Don't say that.
Don't fucking say that, Mike.
He would be hurt the entire season if he comes here.
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of-
Damn. Holmes has been hella good.
he's been great. He's been coming back from injury. But yeah, the package. I think if you're a baseball fan, if you're a Tigers fan, you wanted something more, which is totally understandable. I think you wanted a big league ready talent, like my sneaky. Like I talked about this in the trade on episode, like the prediction episode in here, on the other
Yeah.
another pod. My sneaky advantage was like if Smith was healthy, we could have traded Rushing in this deal. Obviously Smith's not healthy, and we kind of need Rushing to be back since working his way back. We needed Rushing to stay on the team at least for this year, based off what he's done with injuries this year. But I think for who Tarek Skubal is, you've expected a bigger package, which is understandable. But you also have to imagine it is rental. I think a lot of people. I think a great comparison is that 2021 Josiah Gray, Keibert Ruiz trade, who were two of the better prospects at the time of the Dodgers. They ship them off, and the Dodgers with prospects are very interesting because they do not want to trade a guy that they love. Michael Bush and Miguel Vargas, they loved, but they hated the trade, but there is no room for them. The Dodgers are sneaky prospect huggers, and it is a little bit crazy. But they loved Zaire Hope and they loved River Ryan, and Friedman said that he to give up that talent was a little bit of it was a lot for us that we had to debate wanting to do, but you get Tarek Skubal back for what Tarek Skubal hopefully can be. They posted a video yesterday of him walking through the clubhouse and meeting everyone. And Yamamoto goes, "Hi, teammate." And Skubal goes, "What's up, man? Great work yesterday." He was already dicking around with Robert the dugout. Robert's is "Oh, the algebra looks good on you," and then Skubal was it kind of leans me out a little bit. And Dave goes, "Oh, I wasn't gonna say that, but now that you did," and they're just kind of messing around. And I think for a guy with Skubal's energy, I love it as a Dodger fan. As a baseball fan, I know the debate that's going to be had, and we can get to that talk if we want to get into the talk later, or even right now. But the Dodgers have gotten to a point where they're going to do whatever it takes. They are Avengers Endgame up against Thanos. They are going to do whatever it takes to win, and they will push the chips in and do that. And not a lot of teams are willing to do that, and it's frustrating, especially when there's only one team seemingly willing to go out and push all the chips in. And I understand that from the outside looking in. But the Dodgers want to do whatever they can to win a World Series. Miggy Rowe had a quote yesterday saying that Doc of course is happy with the past two World Series. He's not satisfied. There's still a dying hunger for more, which every manager and every club should have. Absolutely. So I love as a Dodger fan, scared of the implications as a baseball fan. Um, yeah, but I think for the Tigers, maybe you could have expected something a little bit more from the package, but all in all, I don't think it's a horrible trade.
Yeah. Um,
Sorry, I like rambled on a
I
lot.
no, you're totally fine.
I had a lot of thoughts about that deal.
Yeah, we got to get it out. Uh, I think just build off that. Like, I obviously don't know as much about the Dodger system as you do, um, but I knew Zaire Hope was a really good prospect. I will say that like a lot of the times these Dodgers prospects, like they got the helium, they're inflated a little bit in their value, but it's a half season of Scooble. Like he's not gonna fetch an incredible fucking package. He's not gonna get what Adley Rutschman just got. It's not in
Yeah,
division.
Adley's a
It's
year and
it's
a half.
not the same thing, right? Like it's different. As good as Scooble is, he's gonna start what 8 games for you guys. Like how many games is
Yeah,
he gonna even start for you guys? So I think it's a good get.
especially in a six man.
Exactly. And it's a good get for the Tigers. I think that they did pretty well. I understand why people were like, "You could have gotten more." I understand why people were frustrated, but ultimately, right? Like I don't like the Dodgers. They piss me off as much as they piss off everybody else.
Hey, you
But
loved being in left field though, didn't you?
no, that was terrifying. That was horrifying.
I wish you
It
recorded that. That was awesome.
was so scary. Uh, but this is a good package for the Tigers. Like, why are you mad that the Dodgers traded for Scooble? Like, the reason they're able to give up a big package is like because they sign all these guys and because they can extend them, and all this stuff is true. All this stuff is frustrating, but at this point, like, it just sucks, and we have to deal with it and pay attention to your own team,
Yeah, it's gonna
right?
be
Like, as
it's gonna be
Mariners fans,
interesting.
like, let's see how we can build on what we've done. How do we get something more here? How do
And
we
it's not,
improve our team? So
and it's not like this. My biggest thing that like pisses me off as a Dodger fan is people complaining about parity. People complaining about it's a done deal. Give him the ring, which is
yeah,
not true. Everyone was saying that in 2022 when the Dodgers literally had their best season of all time and lost in the first round. Like that can still happen. Like in baseball, anything can happen. We saw a Rangers Diamondbacks World Series in 2023. No one had that on their bracket.
yeah.
So yeah, again, as a Dodger fan, I love to see it. Um, I'm very concerned about the implications for the rest of the way. We'll see. We do have the return on Dustin May in Jojo Romero.
Okay, what do you got?
The 10th and 24th ranked prospects for the Brewers, both pitchers, Josh Knopf and Coleman Crow, going back to, the Cardinals in this deal. I'm gonna go to their prospect page. I don't know if they're already on there. Let me see. They're not on there. They're still on the Brewers page. Yeah, Knopf was top number 10, who back-to-back seasons in the mid-4 ERAs. He's 20. He was a competitive balance pick in 2023, the third pick overall. So he has some stuff. Coleman Crow has been kind of used a little bit this year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's definitely more of a reliever. He has made some starts actually. No, he's more of a starter. Never mind. It's me not knowing ball. Kind of the same thing. Had a good season last year, but this year's kind of bouncing back. So again, for two rentals that weren't having the most amazing seasons, a pretty solid get. But
Yeah. I mean, look, right, like you're trading 2 rentals, you're not gonna get a big package. You're gonna try and get whatever you can get. Um, so I do understand. I do think it's fair. Um,
dude, what are the Jays doing? Sorry, Padres have reached out on Dalton Varsho.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what gets done, but like I mean the Jays aren't in it. Vladdy doesn't look that great this year, obviously, right? Like
Future Mariner Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
no. No. I need no more players that are just completely up and down and up and down and up and down.
He's like, I don't want another Julio.
No, it's exactly, dude. It's so frustrating. Um, let's see. What else is there to talk about? We haven't talked about Taylor Ward. Let's get into it.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sorry, I'm looking for yeah, I'm very happy to talk about Taylor Ward, and I'll let you start because
yeah,
you're the Mariners fan.
Mariners acquired Taylor Ward this morning. I will be recording full podcast episode on the show tonight that will release tomorrow morning. As always, Monday morning. Or that'll release. Actually, we'll record tomorrow night and release Wednesday morning about it. Um, so the Mariners got Taylor Ward. The package they gave up, biggest piece they gave up was Brock Moore. Brock Moore, Alex Hoppy, and another prospect. I can't remember who it was. But pretty much pretty insignificant. Brock Moore's the only piece that uh, really kind of is annoying to let go. He was a relief prospect, but he hasn't been very good in Double A this year. So I think it's a totally fine trade. I think it's a trade I would do 100 out of 100 times. 100 out of 100 times. And Taylor Ward is a guy that has had a good season, a 110 OPS plus. Last year at a 120 OPS plus. He's doing it in different ways this year, though. Without the power, he had 36 home runs last year, 31 doubles. He has only 20 doubles this year and just 7 home runs, but he's getting on base at an elite rate. Has the most walks in the American League and has an on base percentage of 383. Has the lowest chase rate as well in baseball, which is something that the Mariners have desperately been needing. And it's a guy that can hit left handed pitching, which the Mariners desperately have been needing. Um, but they've also just been needing a guy that can hit, and Ward, while not great against right-handed pitching, like, he can theoretically play every day, and that's something that the Mariners need and is something that you should be interested in as a Mariners fan, and I think this is a good get for the Mariners. There's always the potential that it doesn't work out, but you gave up 3 bags of chips for Ward, and I think that that in of itself makes this a trade that you should do even if he doesn't pan out the way you want him to.
Yeah, no, dude. I mean, before I was, but being honest with you, before the obviously the Bressman trade broke out, I was like, "What are the Orioles doing? They got nothing." Because I mean, that's not me dissing the guys, but none of those guys are in the Seattle's top 30. And that's just the truth. So for
Yep.
you guys, I mean, I wanted this trade for you guys, and we spoke about it on another episode. Like Taylor Ward, if he wasn't an Angel, probably already a Mariner, just because he feels like the guy to be there. Um, by the way, shout out Mariners. Only one team has multiple players with a 375 on base percentage or above. That's the Seattle Mariners, who have both. Let me bring it up. You guys have both Randy Arozarena, who has a 378, and Taylor Ward has a 383.
Yep.
Like you guys can get you guys. I think, and again, I know I didn't even realize you guys were going viral for the vibes around the clubhouse and that win against the Los Angeles Dodgers. I like saw it for the first time a couple of days ago, and I was like, wow. But this is still a Mariners team, man, that has the juice, that is in an open AL. Like, I still don't think the Astros run away with it. Everyone was like, oh, the Astros are inevitable. Here they come again. I still don't know how. Like, they have Yordan, cool. Correa might come back, cool. They might make a move for Lerner or Stowers or something at the deadline, cool. Their pitching still scares me. Like, I don't like their pitching at all. And like, I just me being honest to where if you were to ask me who would I still take in this AL West, I'm still taking the Mariners, who still have the juice, who I'd assume are going back to a 5-man with Castillo gone, who are going to hopefully get some bullpen help, and they get an outfielder who they so desperately needed to kind of fix the culture over there, just to get a true hitter. And I know he's struggled this year a lot. That's kind of the
Yep.
Baltimore effect. He again, the slugging is down, but you don't expect this version of Taylor Ward to be the version of Taylor Ward you get the rest of the season, the rest of the way through October. I love this get for the Mariners, and for part of the reason why I love this get is because it doesn't really stop you guys from making any other moves if you really want it
Yeah. It's a replacement for Rob Refsnyder. And it's one that hopefully will be better, and it's one that, well, hitting at T-Mobile Park as a right-handed hitter is not an easy thing. You get to play Houston. You get to play Anaheim, right? Like, those are places where you can hit as a right-handed hitter, and we saw Taylor Ward was able to hit there, and we've seen that even in a ballpark where he doesn't have the power, where he hasn't been able to hit home runs the same extent, he's found another way to really be a productive hitter. He's been able to get on base, he's been able to walk, he's been able to limit his strikeout rate, and if he can continue to even just do that, right? Put the ball in play, walk, like that's what I'm asking for you. You can hit your doubles here and there, you can have your clutch hits here and there, and I think that even just for that reason, like it's a good get. And you look at the division, like the Astros just do not scare me. Like they don't. Um Jeremy Pena's been great. Jordan Alvarez
Jet
has been
passing.
unbelievable. Go for
The
it.
Cubs get their guy, acquiring right-handed reliever Ryan Zefrajan in a trade with the Angels.
Yeah. I got nothing on that, to be honest.
I'm sorry, that is.
That's a weird one. Has he been good?
Do you want the answer?
Zeph
Yeah.
or
Do
Sean? Let's
you
go ahead and
want? I
spell
mean,
it.
he's not bad.
All right. Ryan Zefferjon this year has 45 appearances, 51 and 2/3 innings, has pitched to a 3.66 ERA. That's pretty solid.
Whoa, Savant loves him. Look at the Savant.
Really? Whip
He
is
only
over
has,
one.
he has
FIP
4
is not
things in the
great.
blue, and that's it.
Really? Let's
Yes.
get this up. Give me 1 sec.
A little update
Wow.
on the market. The Clay Holmes market is active. D-backs, Brewers, Padres, White Sox, and Braves all wanting Holmes. They expect him to go down to the wire. But yeah, look at that Savant, dude.
Yeah. Look at the Savant page here. Doesn't get a ton of chase, which is why that walk rate is not great. But if he stays out of the walks, like, look at the whiff rate. Look at the strikeout rate. Like, unbelievable. 100th percentile in expected batting average. Doesn't get a ton of ground balls, which could be risky. In Chicago at Wrigley with the wind swirling, but I mean, that's an unbelievable defense. When he gets ground balls, it's going to be better than when he, was with the Angels. Sweeper four seam mix, like, he looks interesting. He looks like he could be good in the Cubs bullpen, and they need another arm. This is like a 6th or 7th inning type of guy. It looks like to me, which you can always use more 6th and 7th inning guys in a bullpen. You can always use more. So I think it's a good get for the Cubs.
Yeah. I think for the Cubs, you expected a little bit more. But
Yeah.
you take that. I think if you're the Cubs, you need some back and help. You haven't had the flashiest at Leonard Hall, but you've gotten body, so I think you can't really too mad about. The guys are getting, especially if you hopefully get back Cabrera or some people like that later on in the season. I don't know what the update on Cabrera is. I can be wrong. But yeah, one thing I want to get into because we haven't really talked a lot about this.
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't know if this is real. People are saying that Matt Shaw went back in that deal, which would be crazy. That has to
The
be
Mets
done.
what?
That the Cubs got back Matt Shaw in that deal. I don't think that's true.
There's no way.
But that'd be
There's no way.
That'd be crazy.
If they're trading Shaw, they may as well go get Hancock or Kirby.
No way. No, they don't get him. They didn't get Shaw. Okay.
There's no way.
I need to make sure. I kept saying, I saw too many people saying that, and I was like, I know it's not real, but I need to make sure it's not real.
Damn, hella control on Zefferjon too. Control through 2030.
Damn. Okay.
That's a good ad. That's a good addition.
That's a solid ad. That's a solid ad.
I like that.
One trade I really want to get into, because I'm just so. And maybe this is a hot take. I don't know if this is. I don't know how the baseball world's reacted to this trade. I hate what the Phillies did this morning. Can I say that?
Yeah, go into it.
I just you needed so much more than Luis Arias. Luis Arias is a better trade turner this year who can't run. That's all you got. Yeah. And now you're moving Harper back to right. You're moving your entire defensive alignment. Stott's now going to third. Bohm's now going to first. Like, don't get me wrong. The Phillies needed a bat. They needed a Taylor Warrior or Joe Adele. They did not need a Luis Arias. And yeah, you get Caleb Killian back. I know some of the numbers don't love him. this is a guy who I kind of liked for you because, like back into the pen has some upside. Was the prospect they got back in the Chris Bryant trade. So again, he's supposed to be a guy has had some good stuff this year in the back end of the bullpen. But for the Phillies, that yes, they went on there and they got Brooks Riley as well. They've started to make some moves. This can't be it. If you're a Phillies fan and this is your deadline, I'm pissed.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that, like, you talk about Ward and you talk about, Adele and stuff, and while Arise is a little bit of a weird fit, right? He also is a better hitter than both of those guys, and for the Phillies, right, like, this is a team that could always use some more on base, a guy that can hit for average, right? Like, that's something that any team these days can use. Um, and the Phillies ranked 23rd in average and 29th in on base, and Arias is automatically going to improve that. So it's a good get for them. It's a good addition. I think it's a weird fit also, and it's gonna be kind of weird to see how they sort of maneuver it. But it makes your team better, and to me, that's what the deadline is all about.
I think for me, it's just again, I was thinking of the Phillies. It felt like they needed a bopper because nothing has worked for them besides Schwarber, who has been struggling as of late, and Harper, who kind of been middling out. So for me, it felt like a bopper was needed more than kind of a glue contact guy. But maybe again, maybe Luis Arias is the fit. Maybe he goes off, and maybe he singles the Dodgers and Scoobble to death in the postseason. Maybe that's the move. Um, I just felt like they needed a little bit more thump, especially with the way they've been faltering. They just got swept by the Marlins, who are selling. Like
Right.
I don't know, man. Like to me, and again, it's a solid trade. I'm not trying to diss Luis Arias at all. Luis Arias is a great player. He's had a phenomenal comeback season this year. He's gonna get a solid deal in this offseason, probably to the Rays. It's crazy they didn't get him. Um, so I don't know, man. But I hope he is. I hope he continues to be what he is. But also, with there's too many moving parts as far as the identity of the Phillies. Like Harper moving back to right. Um, it kind of helps, kind of doesn't. Like that's there's a reason why Harper moved to first base, not because of the injury, also, but just because he was solid. Harper, I know that it's like people are gonna say like, well, Mookie moved back to right field in 24. Mookie Betts is also one of the most generational outfield talents we've ever seen in the sport.
Yeah.
He can go ahead and do that. Harper is a generational offensive talent, but we haven't seen him consistently play right field since what 21, 22.
Something like that. Yeah.
So, and to move Bum to first base, to move Stott, his second position change from short to second, now to third base, is going to be interesting. To me, it's a little bit moving parts. There's a fly in my kitchen right now that's pissing me off. Um, but I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. For me, the Phillies can't be done.
Yeah. But
For
I
me, the
also don't
Phillies
think
can't be
they
done.
are done necessarily.
I hope they're not. I hope for the Phillies' sake, I hope they're not.
Did they get something more?
They got Brooks
I feel
Riley.
like, yeah. That's a good get for them too.
Yeah, it's solid. I just think if you're the Phillies, you wanted something with more oomph. I think that's the
Yeah.
only thing.
I do think that's true, but I mean, there's not that many guys that are that on the market.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fair.
who is that impact type of hitter on the
I
market
feel
right
like
now?
that's what I'm saying. I feel like the impact hitters are already gone,
Yeah,
unless you go out there and somehow
but I also
convince
just
the
don't think
fans
that
to
there
give a
were that
Bucks in.
many on the market. Like, there are
That's
not
fair.
that
This
many
was a
impact
very
bats on the
weird.
market. And as someone that's like been looking at impact bats for my team, like there aren't that many
There's not a
guys.
lot.
Which
There's
is why,
not
like
a
Taylor
lot.
Ward, like I'm happy with Taylor Ward, but by no means is Taylor Ward an impact bat.
He can be though.
He can be, but I don't think he is. He hasn't had true impact necessarily this year
Okay, the rest of the way, give me your what's the biggest name you think it's the rest of the way?
that we could get.
No, that's like dealt. Period. Like until the clock strikes midnight, 2 o'clock.
Who's
What's the
left?
biggest name traded again? Because
Who's
I'm really scared that the biggest name is going to be Casey Mize, and that's no diss to Casey Mize. I just want more electric trades. And you know what? I'm gonna go out and do my crazy trade because I texted you last night, and I really want to
oh
happen.
boy. Oh boy.
just for the fun of it, because why not?
Send
Give
it
me
in.
Corey Seager to the Sox, dude. I mean, I would
I
love
mean,
that
what
for
do they
them.
have to give up now, though? Like, they gave up so much in the Adley trade. I don't know how you can give up any more. That'd be your entire farm system at that point.
Yeah, but I think. Sorry. Yeah, football media day scheduled for Chapman football. Shout out, shout out Chapman
Thank
football.
God.
Um, it's very early.
Oh,
No.
oh my God. Oh my God. What did the Dodgers just trade Scooble back?
No,
God damn.
Wait, what? Wait, whoa, 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 whoa!
What?
New return for the Brewers trade.
For which Brewers? The Dustin May trade?
Yes, we have a different return.
What?
Instead of what was what was previously posted, it's now Alexander Frias and Josiah Ragsdale. And if I mispronounced that for either of you those guys, which I probably did, I'm so very sorry, were the 11th and 13th prospects in the system.
Oh. It sounds like they're good, though.
Yeah,
Brewers fans are saying they've been fleeced.
Frias has been, yeah, Frias Loki dog. And same thing with Ragsdale. He has 1,000 OPS in Double A.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Very
Interesting.
interesting.
No, I just realized that the media day is. I have a other thing going on that day, so I have to
What day is it?
organize my day. The 13th.
13th?
Yeah.
Damn, theirs is hella early, dude.
Hella early.
Jeez. Let's see. Is there any news?
I'm trying to see. The only news. Sorry, that was really. That's me trying to fucking kill this fly right now. Sorry.
Oh my
Let me.
God. You just
What?
murdered on stream. Jeez.
It like flew across my Mac right now. I just saw it and I just was like, I tried to get it, but I couldn't. It's coming back.
Guy Fieri's in Seattle.
What?
What the hell?
You know what? Let's do some catch up. How was Ed Sheeran?
Dude, Ed Sheeran's lit. Especially when you're trading. Where? He performed at the football stadium.
Oh, Lumen? I mean, I remember breaking that to you and you were like, I'm at Ed Sheeran. And I was like, why'd you answer the phone?
Dude, I'd seen it. I was losing my mind. I was like, we traded Luis Castillo, which still like crazy.
Crazy. Alex Door not being at the Ed Sheeran concert, crazy.
Yeah, Alex Door should have been there.
Shout out Alex Door. Alex Door, wherever you're watching from, shout out.
Oh my God. Let's see.
Yeah, there's nothing a lot happening right now.
It feels like we're like due for like a crazy move.
It has to be, right?
Like something is in the works that's just like gonna be like jaw drop.
Okay, does Buxton get traded?
No, there's no way. There's no way. He'd have to waive the no trade clause, which he says he doesn't want to, and you'd have to create a package, which it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'd be crazy if it did.
It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy if it did. Yeah, nothing. Nothing. We hit a little bit of a slow point. We hit a little bit of a slow point on the deadline. You expect this to happen, but
2 hours out. 2 hours out.
2 hours. There's got to be some movement, Coach.
Coach Trev, what do you got for us?
Yeah, where's that? You know what? Shout out. Oh my God!
Shout out John Boy Media.
I can't believe it. No, I can't believe I'm forgetting our Coach Lav. Shout out Coach Lav. Come on the pod.
Coach Lav. Oh my God, Chapman baseball.
Where's Briggs? Get him on the pod right now. Where's Briggs?
Where's Briggs? I'm like trying to see if anything happened. Um,
Where's Andy Paez?
I mean, what guy? All right, what guys are left here?
Like Mize, Clay Holmes. As far as like true rentals that arguably should be traded, Mize, Holmes, Gore is technically a part of that list because he's a rental. Um, Trevor Rogers, I think, is on that list because he's a rental. I think Reed Detmers is still an interesting case. I think Zach Neto's an interesting case. I think Dalton Varsho and George Springer are interesting cases. I think Hunter Green is sneaky, could be traded. I think Lars Nootbaar is a sneaky name. I still think Brian Jefferson from the Twins could be potentially dealt. I will throw out Mason Miller because you never know what Adrian Peller is going to do.
Yeah, the
You never
Padres
know.
are an interesting one. It feels like they're
So
holding up
weird,
the
dude.
market a little bit. It's like, are
So
you gonna
weird to
move one
me.
of these relievers? Are you not? Like, what's actually gonna happen here?
And AJ Preller is smart. He's insane, but he's smart. So like, I feel like you kind of. It's like
I don't know if
when
you
is
could
the
say
value for
AJ Preller's
Mason?
smart. Like,
Well, you know, he knows that he knows a deal when he sees it, and that whether that's a good deal or a bad deal, you know, that's up for
he
debate.
makes deals. You can say that. I don't know if it's
The
smart deals
Rays
though.
have had by Robert Murray. The Rays have had some dialogue with the Angels about infielder Zach Neto.
It seems unlikely he's gonna get traded though. That doesn't seem like a last minute sort of trade.
That's why that's why I truly think Corey Seager is going to get traded because the Red Sox need a shortstop, and
Yeah, but
they
you have to
are
eat that whole contract.
what other they have no other contract on the books. They traded the
The Red
entirety of Dever's
Sox?
contract. Yes.
Don't they? I mean, didn't they already play Roman Anthony and they have a couple other guys? I mean, let's
Hold
look at their
on.
payroll.
Red Sox payroll. I think the only true, but like they're not. I
And
mean, let me.
Story.
But look, Story's only 1 year. Let's look at this.
Let's see. Yoshida's still making 18. Contreras is making
Oh,
18.
I forgot they signed Ranger Suarez. I com- I completely
Yeah.
forgot that happened.
And Sonny
Um,
Gray's making 31 million.
no way.
Crochet's
What?
making a big chunk of
What
money.
the hell, dude? Gray's freaking contract. He's gonna win 35 this year and 5 next year.
That's freaking weird.
That's like me when people like remind me Kyle Tucker's getting paid $80 million next year. I'm like, that's insane. I'm like, wow, okay.
Well, and Adley's probably making some money already. He's probably making like 10.
Yeah. I mean, Crochet's the biggest one. He's gonna be 28.6 for a while. Rangers 26 the rest of the way. Anthony and Campbell are both gonna be increasing. Yoshida has 1 year left before
God, I
arm.
forgot they
Contreras has
extended
1 year
Campbell.
left. Sedon's gonna get more expensive. I'm imagining they're gonna trade Bayo at some point. Like to me, I could see them trading Bayo and Campbell and being like, "You're changing your scenery, guys. You have Story at second base next year, Seager at short." Like I could see something like
Maybe.
that potentially happening. I just think I don't know.
But
I feel
isn't
like the Red Sox.
Story's a good defensive shortstop though, is he not? Why would you
Yeah,
move Story off of it?
that's true. I'm really intrigued about this return for Zephyrzone.
Just came out. Moises Baestros.
What?
Yep. He's part of the return.
Who has that?
Francis Romero, as well as I think a couple other people. And Mason McGuire. I don't know who that is. Never heard of that.
Dude.
Baestros is huge though.
What?
That's a crazy. Dude, this new Angels GM is actually cooking, and it's pissing me off.
Wait, what the? Oh, the Angels are cooking.
Why are they doing good stuff?
God. GM right now.
The new guy. I don't even know what his name is.
Mozeliak, build him a statue.
Build him a statue next to Mickey Mouse. Statue
Build him a
next to Mickey
statue.
Mouse.
They just got more.
Oh
He
my
was like the
God.
best prospect.
That's a crazy addition for the Angels.
Wow. I mean, they get their hobby replacement. That's crazy. I'm stunned. I'll say it.
He was an 868 OPS last year in 20 games at the big league level. Has struggled this year though.
But he's got the juice.
He does, and he's only
Anthony
22.
Volpe to the Mariners. That's gonna happen.
Get out of here, bro.
Get off
Get
my
outta
fucking
here.
live stream right now. Well, the Dodgers, they've had a solid deadline, I'd say. I'll say it.
You got Tarek Skubal. Of course, you've had a solid deadline, man.
That's not even the most important thing we got. We got Benny Biceps, Ben Mortlet back. Let's go. The best catch. I'm actually so happy about that trade. You don't understand. Actually, what Ben Mortlet brought to the team last year was exceptional vibes, and I love that guy.
My God.
Wow.
Okay.
Trade. Sneaky big trade.
Yeah, that's a sneaky good return for the Angels. I like that a lot.
Are Angels back? Angels 2028 competitors? I'll say it.
No way. Don't do that to me.
Don't
Can't
say
live
that
like
to me.
that. I cannot live like that.
Mason McGuire was their 18th ranked prospect. Let's see the numbers. According to Pipeline. 3.64 ERA this year, having his best breakout year. He's 22. He's an 8th rounder from 2022. There's a fastball, curveball, slider, splitter. Again, nothing too crazy, but I mean, if you're an Angels fan, you're selling for the first time ever.
For the first time ever. That's so crazy.
You are the youngest person ever. That's what I feel like for the Angels. That meme.
Yeah. I mean,
good for them.
What does Adam McDonald think about this?
Put Adam McDonald on the pod.
Oh my God, dude. Can you imagine?
Should we have Lucas and Nico come on the pod as they're flying to Korea right now?
They're flying to Korea right now?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We
need to hear about the Giants.
Yeah, Nico, what are your thoughts on Rafael Devers?
Nico, how about Luis Arias?
How about Robbie Ray?
Oh my God. Let's see.
What else? What have we not talked about? You know what we haven't talked about? Yeah, you know what we haven't talked about? Dude.
What have we not talked about?
AL Central champion White Sox.
Have they made any moves yet?
Dude, they've got Brenton Doyle, Luis Castillo, and Husker Brazoban.
Oh yeah, they got.
That's a solid deadline.
Brazoban is a good addition. I like Brazoban a lot.
I like their bullpen. They have actually a trust tree now. Look at Sean Newcomb's numbers. Okay, Sean Newcomb, 2018 Brave starter against the Dodgers in the playoffs. Now with a 2.87 ERA for the Sox kid, I'll take it. He's been great. The Mariners giving away the entire contest for the White Sox is crazy.
Oh,
not like you guys did in what?
Passing bomb. Houston Astros finalizing a deal to acquire center fielder Dalton Varsho from the Toronto Blue Jays. Goodness me, oh my, wake up Seattle. Dalton Varsho, that's a big defensive addition to the Houston Astros outfield, and they've been needing an outfielder to get back into their outfield and be a solid addition. Dalton Varsho is definitely that.
That trade broke my Riverside.
Let me open Varsho's Fangraphs. I don't know what Varsho's done this year, but defensively, he's always been a really good defender in center field. He's been a below average bat, whatever. Let's see.
Get ready for Alex Warren to be in your lineup every day.
At center field, he's been below average defensive runs saved this year. Weird. Still above average though in every other advanced defensive metric.
We had a good deadline.
Except for that the Astros are doing stuff.
guy who now I'm gonna here's my Chris Collinsworth. Here's the guy. No, I mean Varsho's a pesky guy. He's one of the best defensive center fielders in the game. He's a rental. So I'm interested to see what the package looks like. People are saying Spencer Arrighetti is the most likely guy to go back in that trade, which would be a solid get for the Jays as far as pitching wise it goes. Yeah, nope. Actually, that's Bob Nightingale. Dalton Varsho for Spencer Arrighetti. Looks like it might be 1-for-1.
For Arrighetti, interesting.
That's a solid get. Arrighetti has shown a lot of flashes.
We like the spaghetti, man. Well, I don't, but obviously the Blue Jays might.
The Blue Jays like spaghetti. You heard it here first. His hard hit percentage, 94th percentile, extension 98th percentile. Other than that, Savant doesn't love him. Feels like a guy that can go to the Jays and find something.
Yeah, it does.
I like it. They've been needing an outfielder for so long, and for Varsho, who again had a solid offensive season last year, it makes with the injuries. I know he was only got 70 games, 250 at bats, but had his best offensive kind of season ever, besides the 2022 season. To where there's something to grow upon. And a 682 OPS, I know it's not crazy, but it's something to build upon. It's something that the Astros needed. Astros and Blue Jays, sneaky friends. Go ahead. Yeah, wow. Okay, I'm gonna take over the pod for a little bit, guys. What's up? So very interesting from the Astros here. You take a look at their lineup. Let's try to look at some of the Astros team rankings this year as far as statistics. Let's go to Fangraphs. Let's go to Fangraphs. They put it on a bot for whatever reason. I am human, guys. Okay, so go to Fangraphs. Let's go to Team WAR. Let's go to Team WAR totals. If you look at outfield, you go to position, right? If you look at the outfield spot, if you look at center field, the Astros, where are the Astros? Are 24th on this list. If you want to take a look at this, we kind of can. Let me share my screen a little bit here. If you look at the playing time projections here, so 24th, the Astros in center field, the WAR, they've gone hasn't been great. You want to take a look at the right field. I mean, if you have left field, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get your Don. Maybe you don't, because he is maybe DHing for you guys. Let's see where they are here. Yeah, 21st. Lamont Wade Jr. has the most plate appearances in left field for the Astros here, which is crazy. You look at right field. Let's see what they have there. The Astros are 23rd. So they're early to mid 20s as far as their rankings in the outfield WAR. And then Cam Smith, who was their guy they got in the Kyle Tucker trade, hasn't really panned out. You have Caleb Trammell, who's shown flashes, but he hasn't been consistent. Zach DeCenzo, Joey Loperfido, Lamont Wade Jr., other guys who just haven't really shown the promise, I think, that the Astros would have wanted them to show. To where if you get a guy like Dalton Varsho who can be your guy, it lengthens your lineup a little bit. You get another lefty. Now your lineup's Christian Walker, who's having a great year. If you want to take a look at their Fangraph page, look at their roster resource. Powered by members. Cool. Yeah, now you have Pena, who's been a dog this year. You're Don. Isaac Paredes, Christian Walker, Diaz Altuve, Cam Smith. You're going to have Dalton Varsho slot in there. Trammell's out of lineup. Your lineup's so much longer now. You can platoon guys in left. You look at the rotation. Was Arrighetti injured? Interesting. So Arrighetti was on the IL with some foot nerve irritation as of very, very recently, actually. Did he go on the IL? Welcome back to Hollywood Anderson.
What's up?
Just looking at some of the Fangraph projections for the Stros here, something I was showing the people is the position total in the outfield for the Stros, left, right, and center. Astros were 21st in left field as far as the WAR projections this year.
Yeah.
In center field, I believe they were 24th. Yeah, they were 24th at center. and then in
Jake
right
Meyer.
field they were
Good God.
20. In right field they were 23rd. So they've been pretty mid when it comes to what they've got from the outfielders this year. And Dalton Varsho defensively can give them a lot, and if that continues to be better, and they find a way to break the bat up, that's a really good get for them. And I really like the trade for them actually.
Yeah, it's a good get for the Astros. And Eric Getty has just not been the starter that they need him to be in that rotation. So I don't think it's a big loss by any means with Eric Getty.
And he's injured, I
Um,
guess. I didn't even know that. He had foot nerve irritation as of a week ago.
well, then that would play into it as well. This is a win now type of move for the Astros. It's a good addition for them. It's one that as a Mariners fan kind of annoys me, right? That's not a move that it makes me personally happy. They've been playing Taylor Trammell in center field every day, so
Exactly.
that's a big difference there. That's a big upgrade, and it changes the division a little bit. And the Mariners need to continue to go make moves.
The Mariners need to make a move. The Braves need to make a move. The Phillies need to make a move. There's teams that need to make a little bit of a splash. What the Diamondbacks? What are they gonna do? They're competing.
I mean, are the Diamondbacks going to make a move though? Are they in the position to make a big move?
Linked to Mize. I think if anything, they do get Mize, which is interesting to me. I'm trying to see any other smoke. People are saying George Kirby are going to be traded.
Yeah, there's been rumors all day.
Astros checking on Logan Webb, which is crazy.
That would be annoying.
I would hate that personally.
That would be hella annoying.
Wow. Yeah. The Varsho to Houston trade, I kind of to me felt like a perfect fit. As far as daydreaming trades goes, look, the fly's back. I'm gonna kill a fly on the stream, guys. It's pissing me off. Get away. Oh, I hit it. Let's go. It's dead.
What are we doing?
Trying to kill this fly, damn it!
Just let the fly live, my guy.
No, I don't want to.
That's the rage.
Yeah, Mike Rage.
Big Mike Rage.
Yeah, I mean, for a rental of Dalton Varsho to get Aaron Getty is kind of a good get. I don't hate that.
I mean, I think it's a trade that just makes sense for both teams. It feels pretty
sense.
even. The question I have, right, though, is how did the Astros shake out their bullpen still from here? Or, I mean, their rotation from here.
Yeah.
Eric Getty hasn't been great this year by any means, but that's still a starter that you can have be pitching.
Yeah. John Heyman, Padres aggressively wanting a left-handed hitter. It looks like they really wanted Varsho. They are trying on Trevor Larnach as well as Alec Burles and a new bar.
How about Luke Raley? You want Luke Raley? You can have Luke Raley. He might be hurt right now, but you can have him.
Luke Raley, crazy. Dodger legend.
He was on the Dodgers?
People forget that. People forget he made his debut.
When was he on the Dodgers?
2021.
Really? Random.
Yeah, no, Luke Raley is my guy. I don't think you understand.
Dude's a legend.
So to me, that means Kyle Sowers is not getting moved.
Yeah, but I think that was unlikely though too.
It was unlikely because of the price, but it looks like that's not going to happen.
I don't know if Houston would have had the package to be able to get that.
I don't think, yeah.
All right, hour and 40 minutes out.
What can happen the rest of the way? Mize has to go. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like the Phillies need to do something. Phillies and Braves.
They're both just like in a staring match right now, trying to wait for the other to make a move. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
I'm trying to see any other updates. I can't believe Ballesteros is an Angel. It's still crazy to me.
The Angels are doing good stuff.
Shout out Angels. They're doing something. Kodai singing to the Mets. I mean, Kodai singing to the Mariners feels like meant to be. Dawn rushing to the Mariners. Hell yes. I love that.
Dalton rushing to the Mariners. Why would we go get Dalton rushing?
Talking about first. DH Naylor.
Hell no. I need Canzone in the DH spot.
Oh my god. I love Kenzone. That's a future Dodger, and you know it.
No, don't say that. You cannot say that on this podcast. That is not allowed.
You know what? No, I wouldn't say that. But you know what team he's going to be on eventually? Because it makes the most sense in the world.
San Diego Padres.
That was my 2 team. Dominic Canzone is such a Milwaukee Brewer.
Mm.
Look at
He's
him.
too good for the Brewers, though.
Look at him.
God, that does make
That's
sense.
my
I hate
guy.
that.
I hate that.
He's forever a Mariner.
Forever a Mariner. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Hour and a half, basically.
That's crazy. What? Give me like your biggest move prediction the rest of the way. Because I think mine, unfortunately, is going to be mine. Like the Braves or the Diamondbacks. I think that's the biggest.
I think that there's a reliever. I think Morihone gets moved.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he gets moved.
Like for the Padres only getting Robbie Ray, they've been really Robbie Ray. They've been too quiet.
It just feels like I feel like they're working on a bigger move right now, and it's like something's gonna break. But I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if they're still talking Mason Miller and like there's a staring match there or something, but there's something weird with it.
Okay. I might have to step out in a second just because, you know, the pains of being a college student moving back into your dorm. A lot of moving parts around my house. You know what, I'll get it. I'll get some family business. Shout out my sister and my brother-in-law who moved out and had their own first house that are renting. Shout out to them. But now there's an extra room in the house, so my mom's fully making that a guest room. So we're putting a bed in there. So we have people coming in like in 10 minutes to go put in a bed.
Well,
so I have to step out for a second and be like, hey guys. And I know when I'm gonna step out, Byron Buxton's going to the Phillies.
I'll probably step out soon too. Just end it. We're at 2.5 hours basically.
Look at us.
It's been a stream. Unless of course a big deal breaks, but
well, we can hop back on. Yeah,
we're in a lull. I don't know what's happening.
We're in a lull.
I'm not enjoying it.
I could see like there being no move until like 2:00.
It kind of feels like there's just like some moves that are in the works and they're trying to figure them out.
Yeah.
But not because there haven't even been any leaks around really anything.
No, other than the Padres interested in like wanting a left-handed pitcher or like left-handed hitter. That's like been the only leak-ish. And like Mize being talked about. Oh, Mason McGuire is the son of Mark McGuire. Look at that.
Is he really?
Yeah, that's what I think Boob said.
Boob, I don't believe anything Boob says.
It's like as soon as he said that, Mike, I don't believe you.
I just can't believe it.
You know, I'll look it up. I'll do my own research. Mason McGuire.
Dude is definitely
son of Mark McGuire.
What are his numbers?
Like mid 4s and like double or high. Mark McGuire had 70 home runs in 1998. I mean, you better believe that. Totally not on Roy's, of course. Wink.
Interesting.
Winky face. Yeah, we're in a lull. We're in a weird lull, and I feel like if we hop off, immediately Buxton's going to Phillies.
There's no way Buxton gets traded, dude. There's no way.
Mike Trout to the Mariners. Seiya Suzuki
Trout
to
to the
the Mariners.
Mariners.
Seiya Suzuki to the Mariners.
Can you imagine?
What, Trout to the Mariners or Seiya?
Maybe the Cubs and Mariners are working on anything.
I love that. Oh, Kirby for Suzuki.
Who?
Kirby for Suzuki.
I would never do that trade. Never, ever.
Fuck you, Mike. Basically, that's what you just told me.
It's like 2 months of Suzuki. And 2.5 of Kirby? Hell no.
Well, Suzuki has ARB, dude. You're forgetting.
He's a free agent after this year.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Suzuki, a free agent.
He doesn't get ARB because he signed a contract.
Oh, never mind. I'm wrong. So then why does Yoshida get ARB?
I don't think he does.
It says on Baseball Reference he does. Hold on. Maybe Baseball Reference is just dumb. Let me look up the Cubs payroll on Baseball Reference.
Yeah, Yoshida signed a 5-year.
Oh yeah, no, they have ARB. Okay, yeah. Where Baseball Reference is just kind of not dumb, but they don't have the right info on that. John Morosi. Under the circumstances, Blue Jays are having an excellent trade deadline. Thanks, Morosi. Thanks.
What the fuck does that mean?
The Yankees and the Garcia trade and other possible moves are not considering Ben Rice as a regular catcher. The Yankees are so dumb.
Yankees make no sense to me, dude.
We haven't even talked about that trade, the Garcia trade.
It's because I fuck the Yankees.
It's a solid trade, but like for more of the same, like to me that signals like I don't even know, dude. Like, what's the plan? Like Volpe, Jazz, McMahon, and Stanton are now in such a weird place of is Stanton coming back healthy? Is Jazz gonna platoon?
I mean, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's something where you just work around it. If injuries, like if you have to bench guys for sure, like that's fine. I'm more interested in like, what did the Nationals get out of that? Should they not have gotten a better package?
No, they could have. They could have held off. You know what I'm saying?
Like, if you're gonna trade him, he's been great. Trade him for something more than that. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm looking. Oh, and my Twitter broke again.
This dude's on Twitter too much.
Literally the only time I've ever been on Twitter in my life, dude. It's crazy. I went to my Chapman account to put in the Twitter links, and now I'm back to my personal account, and they're working. So shout out Twitter.
In between the counts.
I have to, dude. For the news, of course I have to. Absolutely.
Fairs, dude. Fairs.
Did you say fairs?
Fairs.
Why are you saying fairs with an S?
Because it's fair, bro. It's fairs.
Okay.
It's linguistics. Communication.
You are a comms major. It's true.
Yeah, I know my stuff, dude. I know how to communicate.
You do. You're a great communicator, and I've always said that about you.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks. Yeah, we've hit a lull.
I'm feeling like this might be the end of the stream.
Crazy. Yeah, the last news we got was Mason McGuire's son is
It's been a while. All right.
Yep.
Unless something breaks here in the next 20 seconds. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It was a pleasure. Mike, thanks for joining the show. You want to give any social information, anything?
Yeah, I mean, we also do our Let's Talk Baseball pod on YouTube as well, so that's kind of something you need to do. But other than that, love the stuff you're doing here, Mahal. Can't wait to get back spitting ball on the pods on Chapman, CSBN, shout out CSBN in the fall. Yeah, it's gonna be a good year, dude. Hyped. And George Kirby is a Dodger. Kidding.
That's terrible. That's horrible. I'll take Andy Pajes. That works.
Hell no. That's my guy.
Thanks for listening. Till next time. Go M's. Go Nerds. Go get a bullpen arm. Peace.